Your Honor, it's number 90 on the calendar in the matter of Farkas versus Bull. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat, ma'am.
Mr. Farkas, if you tell me the story in as interesting a manner as you wrote it in your papers, it's going to be a fun morning. So, relax and tell me your story.
Well, I was traveling westbound on Sunset Boulevard heading towards Highland. I get to the corner of Highland with a plan to make a right turn. I'm in the far right lane. The light changes. I move forward a foot or a yard. All of a sudden, bam! Mr. Bull over here smashes me from the middle lane of Sunset because he's decided to make a right turn onto Highland. So we pull into a strip center right nearby, and I'm reaching for my documents. I'm just trying to compose myself, and he saunters over to my window, and in his way, "Oh, I'm so sorry I did this. This is terrible. I had my mind on other things, and I'm getting a divorce." I'm saying, "Please, I don't want to know. Just let's go with the license and registration." So I look at his license.
Getting a divorce? I just got married, so I gotta be getting a divorce.
I'm going to get to you in a second.
I read his license. Dwayne Xavier Bull. License expires in '95. Do you have insurance? No, this I don't have. I look at his license plates, New Mexico license plates. So what are we going to do? He says, "I just want to pay for it. Why don't you just take it over to a." So I ask him, what beseeched you? What possessed you to make this turn?
Your Honor,
he says, "I saw my boyfriend on Highland Avenue with another man, and I got so upset." I said, "I'm not interested. What are you going to do?" He says, "I'm going to pay."
Honor.
He says, "I'm going to pay for it." I tell him, "I'm going to go right now to get an estimate, and I'm going to bring it to you, and you'll pay for it, and we'll forget the whole thing." Now, the man, can I show this to the judge, please?
Yeah.
The day, exactly at the incident, I wouldn't leave the scene without him signing this. It clearly says, "Dwayne Xavier Bull agrees to pay me. He caused the accident. Fine," so he does it. So what happens next? I call him and call him and call him. No answer. He gives me his pager. His salon is on Sunset. Following morning, I walk into his place of business. I walk in, and this young lady takes over. Divorce, marriage, the French woman, I don't know, but she starts, "Excuse me, I will handle this. Dwayne has no money." Well, that's good. That's good. What are we going to do? "But we want to fix your car, so we want you to take your car to Vahe."
To who?
Vahe.
Vahe.
So Vahe, the Armenian auto body repair. It's right. There's more documents to establish it. I pick up the telephone. I say, "I'm not leaving here till I speak to Vahe," so it's perfectly clear that Vahe fixes my car. He pays for it, and I go home. I call up Vahe. And I say, "Vahe, do we understand each other? Dwayne Xavier Bull, I'm going to bring my car to Jenemsveld in the valley somewhere, and you should only know where, I don't know where it is. You have to take a cow to get there. So, Vahe, do we understand each other? You're going to fix the car, and Dwayne Xavier Bull is going to pay for it." He says, "No problem. We know Dwayne. You bring your car. You'll be very happy." Following morning, my wife and kid in tow with the Camry behind us. We're trucking out to no man's land. Oh, excuse me. Here's the document that says that he agrees to pay Varaz Auto Repair when I bring the car to him.
Okay.
Dwayne, can you give me a chance?
Mr. Bull, I'm going to let you tell the defendant's side of the story as soon as he's finished. Okay? Go ahead.
So I get to Varaz. Vahe's a very nice guy. He says, "Leave the car, no problem." On my way home, I'm telling my wife, there's no shot in the world that this problem is over. Sure enough, like clockwork, Vahe's boss calls me. "Bob, the Armenian." "Bob, we have a problem." "Of course we have a problem. Dwayne Bull didn't come to pay for the car." "Right." He says, "We agreed that he would just pay for the parts, and we'll give him time on the labor." The man doesn't come. So I start calling him. Vahe is calling him. Bob is calling him. The man doesn't return calls. Finally, he threatens me on the telephone. I called West Hollywood Police. He says to me, "If you call me and harass me anymore, I'll have people beat you up." I call West Hollywood Police, but they're busy with seatbelts. They can't handle this.
How long are you in California, sir?
Not long.
How long were you in California at the time of this accident?
Unfortunately, only about 60 or 90 days, and although it's not relevant to the case, 45 days before this incident, I move into a house on April 4th, and the following day I wake up in the morning and the house is on fire. I'm carrying my baby out in the fire at 2 o'clock in the morning. And if I make, oh yes, we heard it enough. Well, here's an official document from the fire department establishing that happened. I know it's not relevant. I'm sorry.
It has nothing to do with the case.
Okay, so did you get your car?
I actually paid for it yesterday for a full month. I mean, this man wreaked havoc on my life.
How much was the...
$1,800.
It was 19 at first.
Excuse me.
You want to pay 19?
He changes
Excuse
his
me.
figures.
The day I came to him in his salon, I showed him the first estimate that I told him I would get was for 18 and change. Varaz, his own people, estimated at 1,800. And that's what I paid for it. And
$1,800.
$1,800. So this is his own people. This is Vahez estimate.
Okay, Mr. Bull, you've been anxious to tell me your side of the story. Now I'm prepared to hear you, sir.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Mr.
Oh, you
Farkas'
and your
car.
papers. Come
He
on.
agreed to pay for the repair. He never came by to pay for it.
Paper.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Dwayne Bull, a Hollywood hair and makeup specialist, says his collision with actor Peter Farkas on Sunset Boulevard was Farkas's fault, and he shouldn't have to pay for the damage.
Now I'm prepared to hear you, sir.
Okay, Your Honor, the way I see it is, yes, he is correct. I was traveling west on Sunset Boulevard.
Stop playing with the papers. Talk to me.
Okay, I was just looking for a little document I wanted to show you as an exhibit. Okay, here it is. I was traveling west. Could you pass this to her, please? I was traveling west on Sunset Boulevard. Now, he was in the far right-hand turning lane, and it was 5 o'clock traffic. I truly believe that he was in that lane because on Sunset Boulevard, people get in that lane to speed to go fast. Your Honor, the way I was hit on the way my car personally was hit, if you look at the estimate, it was hit on my right side front door. Okay, so what I did was I put a signal to turn right. I think he was in this lane to go forward because he was not in our sight, nor did he have a signal.
So you weren't
He hit my car.
You weren't in the far right lane, correct?
No, I wasn't.
Not.
I signaled to go.
You were not in the far right lane. You were in the center lane.
Yes. No, the lane next to the far right lane.
But he was in the far right lane.
Yes, right. Exactly.
So you went to make a right turn.
No, I signaled to
You
make a
went
right
to
turn.
make a right turn.
Yes.
And you were not in the far right lane.
No.
Right. You got out of the car. You went over to this gentleman. You signed a piece of paper indicating that you were prepared to pay for the damage. Right?
Yes, I had not even had the car a day, okay? And yes, I was nervous because I did not have insurance. And yes, I was nervous.
You didn't have
because
insurance.
I didn't have insurance, and I didn't have a driver's license.
That's right.
Okay, so yes, I really was nervous.
So you didn't want, listen to me.
So I didn't want trouble with the police department.
That's
but
right.
not only that, he got personal with me. He asked me, was I gay, okay? And I responded, no, he was coming on to me at the time. And I played with the party too. Yes, I'm married, but of course I'm gonna play into it because I didn't want the police. And I felt if he thought I was gay, then maybe he liked me. It's obvious, he's Nelly.
Okay, Mr. Bull. Now he
this
comes.
is true.
I want you to stop talking. Listen to me. I'm going to ask questions. You're going to answer them. He came to your salon. Now he got to Viha, the Armenian, through you. Is that correct?
Yes. I'm being totally honest. I was nervous. That's the only reason I signed this paper. I did not want to go to jail. Okay. My wife told me, listen, this guy is at fault. He's in our business, and he's screaming, irate, loud. He's from New York. He's obnoxious. It's obvious he's obnoxious. Look at him. Okay? He calls on my phone repeatedly. He tells me about his house caught on fire, how his kids are hungry. He needs his van to transport his kids. All this irrelevant stuff while I have very important clients that are there. In fact, my wife is here as proof that I had a client that sit there in the chair when I disputed with him for 20 minutes in my business, screaming because he has no patience and he acts immature. He screamed, and I lost the client. She requested her $150 deposit back for, the services that were being rendered, her hair extension. I am a popular hairstylist, and only thing I ever stated to this man is that when you want to speak to me, you do not call me at home and you make an appointment like everybody else.
Is that what is? Just
Yes.
a minute. Have we now completed your side of the story?
No, I have one more thing to say.
I'm ready to hear you, sir.
Your Honor, again, yes, I admit that my driver's license had expired. But again, from the way my car was hit, he said I hit him. It's obvious he hit me. from the way
That's really not urgently important, sir. I'm going to tell you why. Mr. Farkas had the right at that time, because there was an accident, to pick up the phone and call the police to have them come to the accident.
But why didn't he?
Why? Because
I had.
No, because you had problems with your license too. I'm almost certain you did. You had some kind of problem.
You looked at my
Bull,
license and said,
Mr.
you know, you're a
Bull,
typical
you-
Gemini. That
you
was
probably-
his comment.
Mr. Bull, you, sir, had no insurance and did not want the police to come because you were also driving with a suspended license. He gave up the right to call the police, to have the police come and make a determination based upon, don't interrupt me, based upon what they saw, whose fault this accident was. You said to him at the time,
He never
"Don't-
mentioned police.
I will take care of the damage," and you signed a piece of paper indicating you would take care of the damage.
I
But-
signed that paper again because I was nervous.
Well, I don't care whether you're
Anybody
nervous or
signs
not.
paper, I mean
I'm
under
not,
pressure.
listen.
I mean,
I want
was
you to get-
nervous.
I want you to
Another
get
thing,
not nervous,
My
Mr.
personal
Bull.
lifestyle had nothing to do with this case whatsoever. And for him to mention those things about my personal, I think that it was very irrelevant. And it's obvious that, again, from the way the position my car was hit, that it was his fault. But of course, he's not going to admit it.
Okay.
Your Honor, I was doing.
you did real
I
good.
was doing the man a favor.
Doing me a favor.
He's telling me
Mr.
about
Farkas.
his wife
Doing me a
problems.
favor.
Telling me about the two-timing boyfriend. I mean, the man's got, you know, his sexual confidence. He's a menace on the road.
Mr. Farkas, Mr.
I'm
Farkas.
sorry. I'm sorry. What the hell's so funny?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
He has no idea what my feelings are if I like to ride bicycles. He doesn't know that about
I
me.
dated him for 6 months. We've been friends for 9 months since then.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
You're a
Mr.
joke.
Farkas, you paid the $1,800 to have your
I
car
did.
fixed? Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff for the amount of $1,800. The defendant's counterclaim for harassment and all sorts of other things is dismissed.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
Judge.
Please are excused. You may step out.
But you were very smart about getting those papers because that's the only reason why you won this case. But other than that, she would have looked at it for my way. And another,
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
think it's because you're blonde and blue-eyed.
I am absolutely convinced that Mr. Bull had his name shortened.
And now the next case.
All parties on Ryder versus Pullman. Step forward.
30-year-old marketing director Kirk Ryder says he loaned his bicycle to his ex-boyfriend Klaus Pullman, and it was stolen. So now Klaus should pay.
All right. Mr. Ryder, you say that you lent a bicycle to the defendant, and he had it in his possession for a long time, and then through his negligence, the bicycle was stolen. You want your money for the bicycle.
Well, I wanted a new bicycle, basically.
Did you
And-
lend him a new bicycle?
Pardon me? No, I
What
wanted
didn't you understand, sir?
I wanted my bicycle back.
Well, he couldn't give you your bicycle back.
Right. So we entered
So my
into.
question to you is, did you lend him a new bicycle?
No, I did not.
How old was the bicycle that you lent to him?
The bicycle was 3 years old.
And had you purchased it?
No,
How did you get it?
it was. I inherited it from my best friend who died.
And what kind of bicycle was this?
It was a Univega Via Modego, 15-speed hybrid bicycle.
What happened to a Schwinn?
I don't know, Judge.
Schwinns are more expensive now.
Are they?
Yeah.
I'm glad to see if they're still in business. At least it doesn't date me.
They are.
All right. So you had the bicycle for how long before you lent it to him?
I had the bicycles since July 1996 when my friend died. And Klaus borrowed it in or around November, I guess. I'm not even sure.
Well, then I gather you weren't using it much.
Well, I was traveling. I travel for a living, so
So
I don't know which trip he borrowed it before. He borrowed it because his car broke down in the desert and he was using his bicycle to get around. Then the bicycle he was using that he owned broke, and I offered to lend him mine.
So far, does that sound right?
Yes. Except for when he loaned it to me
When did he loan it to you?
in June, in the summer
Of '96.
of '96.
What happened to his bike?
It was stolen.
Mr. Pullman, you understand that the bike is in your possession. then you have a responsibility to either replace it or to give him some compensation for it.
He neglected the bicycle. He didn't want the bicycle. It didn't work. It sat in his dining room for 2 years while he was traveling.
Objection.
It didn't work.
Your Honor. What? Sorry. Well, he has no, that's speculation. He has no idea whether I wanted the bicycle or not. I, out of the goodness of my heart, lent him a bicycle that had some emotional value to me as well as physical value of getting around.
So it doesn't seem to me, I mean, have you been friends for long? It's just too bad that this bicycle is presenting a problem to you. Why don't you just replace the bicycle?
Because he didn't want the bicycle. He left it. I took care of it. I didn't neglect it. I locked it with my bike, with my roommate's bicycle. It was in my garage. All three were stolen. He didn't want it. He liked it in my garage and not in his dining room. That's why I had it for so long. He didn't want to come get it. He wouldn't let me return it. He travels a lot, so it was his schedule that was in question. I work at home. I'm always there. He neglected the bike. He gave it to me. He didn't give it to me. He loaned it to me. Asked
right.
me to keep it for him.
He loaned you the bike.
I took care of it.
Good.
I housed it.
Good.
It was stolen. It's out of my control.
Right.
He neglected the bike a year ago. He loaned it to me a year ago this month.
Your Honor. Your
Yes,
Honor.
well.
He moved 2 blocks away from my house when he
Doesn't make
moved
any
to West
difference,
Hollywood.
Mr. Pullman.
He could have returned it.
Mr.
And
Pullman.
also, wait, one more thing. I believe that he did neglect the bike because I lent him the bike with a kryptonite lock, and he did not use that lock. He used a chain which could be cut easily.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. Kirk Ryder says his ex-boyfriend Klaus Pullman should pay for the bicycle he borrowed because it was stolen while in his possession.
The only thing that I have to decide is on a value of this bicycle because you did not purchase it. To replace it is a problem because to replace it, what you're seeking is the full replacement value of the bike, which is, you say, $399 to replace a bike of similar quality. Is that what you indicated?
Which is actually less than the bike that was stolen is valued at.
Well, bicycles, listen to me, sir. Bicycles are not like diamonds. They don't appreciate
Right.
in value.
Oh, I know that.
They depreciate in value. So if it had been bought for $500, it depreciates probably 50% in the first year that somebody has it. So then we're down to $250. That's after 1 year. So you're not going to get anywhere near what this bicycle would cost new. But you have to pay something to him, sir. You accepted it into your care. That's what we call almost a bailment. Even if he was storing it at your house and you agreed to accept it for storage, right, you have a certain responsibility towards it. You said something about this lock.
It's a standard bicycle kryptonite lock. He loaned it to me with the bicycle, but he didn't loan me the key.
So what'd you do with his lock?
The lock is with the bicycle. It stayed with the bicycle. It has a holder for it.
Okay.
Which
There's
I
a
couldn't,
lock.
which
There
I
was
couldn't get off without a key.
A tire pump and also a water bottle and cage. All accessories to the bike, which
Mr.
added
Ryder,
to the value.
Mr. Ryder, stop getting so excited. It's a bicycle. It's a bicycle that you didn't ride and you didn't miss for a
I
year.
did ride, Your Honor.
You're irritating me. Listen to me. From the time you lent it to him until March of this year, according to your own statement, you really did not make a request for this bike.
I made one request.
Wait, so evidently
No,
it
I
wasn't
made two. I made two.
Evidently it wasn't something that was right at the forefront, the signpost on your face. You know, it was
Well, I
just
didn't
a
ride
piece.
it because it wasn't in my possession. I had loaned it to a friend. That's why I was not riding the bicycle.
And your friend is going to give you $150 that you can use towards purchasing a new bike. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $150. That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Excuse you may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
This is case number 201 on the calendar in the matter of Boyer versus Mills. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated. Have a seat, ma'am.
Mr. Boyer, you're suing the defendant for $5,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't you tell me why she owes you $5,000?
Well, it all started when I had a financial ad running in the newspaper
When was this?
back in spring of 1994 for personal loans. I'm an investor, and she answered the ad asking for a loan. And I said, well, you really didn't qualify for the loan. what's the problems, and she discussed them briefly with me. I said, well, let's get together and maybe I can help you out, because she sounded like she had a desperate situation.
Am I correct, Mr. Boyer, that in 1994 you began to have a relationship with Miss Mills?
Yes, we did.
And she lived in your home occasionally, is that right?
Well, she moved in.
Yes. And in 1994, sir, how old were you?
Well, I was 58.
You were 58. And how old were you, Miss Mills, in 1994?
I was 18, turning 19.
You were 18. Did you feel uncomfortable about that, Mr. Boyer?
Not really.
She's 18 years old. She's a baby.
Yeah, that's right.
In any
I
event.
thought she was 19, going on 20.
Well, that makes all the
Okay.
difference in the world,
no,
sir.
I mean, no, just a matter of factual accuracy, I think. Yeah.
In any event, from a reading of your complaint over the years, you helped her financially and supported her, is that right?
At certain points of time, yes.
Well, she lived in your house and you paid the
Well,
rent?
it was really like in 3 different stages. First of all, if you want to call this the sugar daddy stage, it was only 4 months.
Well, I'm glad you did, so I
Well,
didn't have
you know,
to.
I just put it all on the table. That was the first 4 months. I played by the sugar daddy rules. She didn't play by the princess rules. In other words, I did
Why don't you
everything I
explain
felt.
that? Just a second. I'm a little stupid, so why don't you explain that to me?
Okay. I fully supported her, got a car for her use, paid her tuition in school. I was trying to get her, be a bridge for her to get from when she was, when I first met her, which was down and out big time, to getting through school, getting through her surgical technology school, being successful, and treating her like a first-class girl during that period. And I was there to carry it all the way through. I don't think she saw it the same way, because she had boyfriends on her side. She was having sex with other guys. She brought home an STD for me. Thank you very much. Sexually transmitted disease. And I told her to pack up and get out. And I gave her some big money to go back to Alabama so she could get there safe and sound. None of the debts I'm asking for her to repay occurred during that period of time. They
Okay.
occurred much later. When she wanted to come to my house, she was begging me to come to my house. I said, okay, but not on the same terms. You work your part-time, I'll help you through school, furnish free rent and food.
During that second
That was
period
a
of
whole
time,
different
sir,
period.
did you have sexual relations with the defendant?
Occasionally, although I backed off, and she was wondering why, because...
The word
okay,
is occasionally.
occasionally, yeah.
Okay, so she was 19, 20, and you were close to 60 at the time.
Yeah, approximately.
Okay. And is that the period of time that you're talking about, these when loans were made to her?
That's right.
What were the loans for?
She had a real bad habit on the telephone, long-distance phone calls. After I cut her off, she went to her sister, got her calling card, ran up $600 in 2 months. I talked to her sister, so I know. She comes, so now she has no way to make calls. So she makes third-party calls, and the third party doesn't know that she's making these calls, charging her number, charging to their number. I get the phone bill 3 months later for March calls. It's a June phone bill. She says, oh, I'm going to pay you. As soon as I call her, she says, oh, I'll pay you.
So
She never
these
paid
both-
me, so that's number one.
Okay, this is very simple. She billed them to a third party. The third party ultimately said, I'm not accepting the charges. They
And I
billed
got
them back
nailed
to the
with them, yeah.
phone, your phone in your house.
This is after she already moved out.
Okay. I really should be right up front with you. I find your initial position really very unsympathetic. Do you understand me?
Sure.
You know, I mean, it's a court, and we're bound by certain rules. If she owes you money, you're going to get that money. But I find a 60-year-old guy playing a sugar daddy to an 18, 19-year-old girl, it's sort of, you get what you deserve. That's the way I feel. Now, she may have been a pretty savvy 18, 19-year-old girl, but even a pretty savvy 18, 19-year-old girl is still a baby.
She's
Not fully
very
cooked.
street smart.
Street smart, yes,
And-
but not fully cooked, sir. And not fully cooked. So,
But-
I mean, you played
But if she
sugar
wants
daddy.
to
You played sugar daddy, and sometimes there's a meltdown, and you get your fingers burned.
If she wants to accept that role in my life, then she should do it right and not be having sex with all these different guys and having all these different guys call the house. How long am I supposed to put up with this stuff? and be right and be
It's
good
one
to
of the
her.
problems that you face, sir, when you're 60 and you fool around with somebody who's young enough to be your
Okay,
grandchild.
that second period.
All right?
Hey, I know the age.
What else?
I got that.
What else does she owe you
Doesn't
for?
mean I'm still not a man.
Come.
60 years old, I'm still a man. I'm much more capable than a lot of punks out there living with their mothers, and they're sleeping with these girls. At least I can take care of business. Tell me about it. And I can do everything they can do, and maybe better.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I knew it was going to come down to this lowest common denominator, sex with a young girl. Big deal. Man, they should have it so good.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Demetria Mills says 60-year-old retired aerospace executive George Boyer knew she had another boyfriend when they made their sugar daddy arrangement.
What else?
Next one, direct my Porsche, making an illegal U-turn.
I'm not considering that she's wrecking your Porsche, sir. Did she agree to pay you for it?
She agreed to pay me for it.
Did you ever agree to
She
pay
told her relative she'd pay for it.
Shh. Did she ever agree with you?
Yes.
When?
After it was wrecked. She came home feeling real bad.
Let me see the loan agreement that she made with you.
There it is right
that
here.
I'm going to look at.
There it is right here. It's itemized on page 3.
All right.
She agreed to pay this back.
Just a minute.
And she knew she owed it to me. This is during the second period, and I was not playing sugar daddy during that period. I was just helping her out. I was just trying to be nice to her. Excuse me. She had problems.
All right, let's see your end, Miss Mills.
George made a proposition to me. He knew that I was vulnerable. He took.
Don't tell me what he knew. You moved in. How long had you been living alone?
Not very long. This was my roommate before I moved in with George, and we were there just a few months.
Where do you originally come from?
I'm originally from Alabama.
So you lived with George for a while in sort of this relation. He was taking care of you and giving you money. Then you moved out. For how long?
Basically for 3 years. He took care of me even when I moved to Alabama. George was sending me money. George took me on trips. George sent me to Alabama a few different times. George bought a car.
Boyfriend's paid a trip too.
George, and that's George's problem right now, Judge Judy, is I'm not in his home. This is why he's doing this to me. Had I still been in his home, he wouldn't have a problem with me now. When I made the decision to move out of his home was because I needed to be by myself and on my own, and I didn't want to be in that situation anymore.
Well, I agree with you. You shouldn't have been in the situation in the first place.
Exactly.
Okay, and for that, he's more responsible than you are because of his age. He should be a little bit smarter. He should be 3 times as smart as you are because he's 3 times as old. But you do acknowledge, even in your answer, that you owe him some money.
Yes, but this is not the agreement. The agreement that I signed for that car, I signed that agreement in January of 1995. I'm sure he has a copy of it. I've seen it in his files of his records. That was for a 1989 Buick that he bought for me.
Now, did you pay him for it?
No, I did not.
So you acknowledge.
Yes, I do.
If I bought it for her, how come I'm the lien holder on it?
She's the lien holder, but I'm the registered owner,
Listen
Judge
to
Judy.
me. What are you fighting about, Mr. Boyer? She acknowledges that she owes you $3,000, which you haven't paid any part of, plus interest at 6%. Correct?
Correct.
You
I gave her a
acknowledge
good
this.
deal.
What?
I gave her a good deal, 6% interest.
You gave us some good deal, sir. Bird, do me a favor.
Your Honor,
Take the old calculator while we're finishing this case up. Would you do 6% interest on this money since '95?
This is after she cheated on me.
Excuse me, Your
I
Honor.
heard she cheated on you, sir. I heard all of that. I'm telling you, your position with me, Mr. Boyer, is not terribly sympathetic, sir. I mean, I don't know whether you find women who are contemporaries not as interesting as children, but at age 18, she's really still a child. And you may say, oh, she's sophisticated, and she's worldly, and she's savvy, and she's street savvy.
Right.
Mr. Boyer!
Yes, ma'am.
She's a baby. 18 years old and a baby, and vulnerable because she doesn't have any money, and you got some money, and it's very tempting. But you are not a very sympathetic person in my eyes, sir. You're going to get some of the money, but because she signed for it. Do you understand? But the rest of the stuff, I'm not so sure about.
Excuse me, Judge Judy?
What?
You know, everything besides that car that George did for me because he wanted to do it. I mean, for 3 years, I'm 23 now, just turned 23 Friday. Would somebody do that kind of stuff for 3 years if they did not want to?
Miss Mills, I haven't gotten to you yet. You are a beautiful, seemingly intelligent young woman who should have more pride in herself, even when you're 18, to sell your body for money, which is what you did. That's what you did. That's being no different than a prostitute. You may have used the money to go to school, to go on trips and whatever, but he bought the services. That was the arrangement. He's an old lecher. No question about it. That's what he is. And I'm being kind to Mr. Boyer. You, on the other hand, sold your body for money.
It was an agreement that we had. That was the basis of our arrangement. He
Duh.
was to give me what I needed and I gave him.
You sold your body for money. You are worth more than that. As a woman, smart, good-looking woman, you're worth more than that. I don't care if you have to work 2 jobs. I don't care if you collect cans. I don't care if you clean people's houses. I don't care if you drive a bus, drive a car, drive a cab. You do whatever you can so that you don't have to sell your body for money.
Judge Judy is ready to rule. And later today,
You're a pathetic little girl, you're immature, and I'm sick of your crap. You owe me $1,500.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Demetria Mills says 60-year-old retired aerospace executive George Boyer knew she had another boyfriend when they made their sugar daddy arrangement.
Mr. Boyer, you are a very lucky man today, sir.
Gee.
Because despite the fact that I find that your arrangement with this young lady is the antithesis of good manners, good breeding, or anything moral, I am awarding you what she signed for in her contract, which was payment on the car, and I am awarding you $3,360. As far as her other bills are concerned, swallow them. That's all.
Party's not excused. You may step out.
Sorry, that's all right.
Back to your right, please.
She's fully grown up. I don't care what her age is. She knows what she's doing, and she's cagey. Judge Judy focused on the sugar daddy stuff because I'm 60. I'm some ancient old man who doesn't have a right to be a regular human being and expect to be treated like a human being, expect people I have agreements with to keep their agreements with me.
And now the next case.
Party's on Glass versus Carr. Step forward, please.
23-year-old Tiffany Glass is suing her former roommate, 20-year-old Kelly Carr, because she says Kelly moved out of their apartment, giving only 5 days' notice and leaving behind numerous unpaid phone bills.
Miss Glass, Miss Carr was your roommate.
Yes.
Did you know her before she moved into your apartment?
No, I did not.
Did she answer an ad? Is that how she got your apartment?
No, she got it through a friend of mine.
And you have a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartment?
2-bedroom, 2-bathroom.
What was her rent?
$375.
And how long were you living in bliss with the defendant?
She moved in February, and it was fine. You know, we totally got along. It was fine in March, and it kind of started to go down at the end of March. You know.
Now, had she paid you for February?
Yes.
She paid you for March?
Yes.
When did she move out?
At the end of May.
She pay you for April?
Yes.
She pay you for May?
Yes.
So why are we here?
Because she left at the very end of May, and she gave me 5 days' notice to find somebody new and decided that she didn't have to pay anything else.
Did you have a lease with her?
No.
So,
She just left.
you weren't getting along?
Correct.
Is that right?
Right.
Why weren't you getting along?
Well, I didn't really know. There wasn't enough communication between the two of us.
But you knew enough to know that you weren't getting along.
Pretty much. But there was never enough oh, well, I'm moving out. Oh,
It's hard to live with somebody.
yes, it is.
Well, since she paid you for the months that she was there and she moved out 5 days before the end of the month, did she owe you any money? I mean, other than the rent. I'm not considering the rent.
Before that, she didn't pay the deposit when she moved in, but I said, don't worry about that until June because, you know, at the end of June, the other roommate, blah, 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 was going to get hers, and then she could give it to me then.
Fine, so we're not talking about the deposit. But other than the rent she's paid up?
Oh, no, there's several phone bills.
What phone bills?
Which phone bills? There was phone bills from, the statement date was on June 23rd, and then it went back into May. It went from May to June. And there was a $40 900 call that I shouldn't have paid, and there were several long-distance phone calls.
In what amount? Come, quickly.
Around $75
In long-distance calls?
in long-distance calls.
Okay. Tell me why you left.
I left because living with her was unbearable. I went through, starting back at the end of March, early April, out of the blue, I started getting notes on my bed saying, you need to stay away from my friends. When I first moved in with her, I had just moved down to California. I didn't know very many people. Tiffany was nice, and she took me out. She introduced me to people, but then she tried to take that away. She said, you stay away from my friends. My friends are my friends. Your friends are your friends. You're going to make my life miserable.
So girly things.
Girly things.
Girly things. All right. Girly things. You paid February, March, April, and May. She says that you owe her $115 for phone bills.
I owed her approximately $150 for everything. That was gas, everything. And I told her when I gave her 2 weeks' notice that I would be leaving, that I will pay that. You just send me the bills to my grandmother's house, and then I'll send you a check. But when that happened, she began leaving harassing, vulgar phone mails on my voicemail. I would get them at work. They would disturb me at work. I would have to leave work because I would be so upset. I got harassing I have copies of the messages on papers. I have letters that she sent me threatening me.
That you owe her money?
That I owe her money, and if I don't, she's telling I quote, every living soul what I have done to her. I didn't do anything to her. I was protecting myself. I left. I didn't have to give her any notice, but I gave her 2 weeks' notice, being the last week of May, and then the first week of June, and I gave her 1 week's rent.
For June?
For June. I have paper here to prove it.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Explain something to you, Ms. Carr. We don't even have to go into that. She is no longer claiming you owe her any money for rent because I'm not giving her any money for rent. I believe that you paid her all the rent that she's going to get. So you acknowledge that you owed her some money for phone bills. Is that correct?
Right, yes.
Good. Fine. Then we have no problem. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $115. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on the next Judge...
This is number 178 on the calendar in the matter of Cox versus Tagliabue. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Ms. Cox, this is your uncle.
Yes.
And who are you?
I'm Joe's wife.
Your grandmother, your mother, passed away.
Yes.
According to your complaint, your grandmother, with whom you enjoyed a lovely relationship, promised you
Her vehicle, of whichever it may be, when she passed away, which is a 91 Thunderbird.
When did she make this promise to you?
This was, she had an 88 Thunderbird, I think it was 88 or 89, which my other aunt had received, and at the time I just turned 16, and she had promised me then the white Thunderbird, which went to my aunt, who has children and needed a vehicle. So she always promised me that she would leave me her car.
You must have had a hot grandmother. She liked Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
So she passed away recently. According to your complaint, the only signed will makes no mention of that bequest.
No. It was also done in '77.
Could I bring up something, Your Honor?
You, sir, are the executor of the estate.
Yes, according to the signed will, yes.
And is there another will, sir?
Yes. This is a will that we received from a attorney that said that from the discussion I had with my sister, Deborah, which is Wendy's mother, that he had told her that...
Just, you can't tell me all these things. This is all hearsay. You received another will.
Yes.
That is unsigned.
That's the will.
Okay, and this was executed in 1992.
Yes.
All right, so let me understand this. We have a 1977 will which makes no mention, that is signed.
Yes.
And makes no mention of this car bequest. Then you have a 1992 will, which according to the plaintiff does discuss the car.
Yes.
Let me just take a look at it. Mr. Taglavor, were you satisfied that your mother had, in fact, in 1992, had a change of heart, despite the fact that you didn't sign this will?
Yes, I didn't know it. Yes.
Could you sit down, please? Just sit down. The answer is yes. Evidently there was some dispute that your mother had with somebody else, and she, in fact, changed her will.
Yes.
But did not sign it.
As far as I know.
As far as you know, didn't sign it.
Right.
Is there anything that you know about that I haven't said yet?
Yes.
Go ahead.
In the hospital when my grandmother was dying, my husband, my mother, my uncle Bill, and her other son, and my mother, the executor on the second will, she was telling us that her phone book, bank receipts, her will, stuff for her funeral, everything was in her briefcase. We found everything except for her will, which then in her phone book, in 2 different spots, it is noted, Opendahl, the one that drew up the second will, is her attorney has her will. That's how they found him. This is her phone book.
It says in that, attorney has will.
Has will.
Fine.
And I also have a letter from the attorney saying that he was the one that drew it up, and no, she never signed it, that it was her right to be able to take her copy with her, and it was up to her.
Ms. Cox, so then what I'm saying is accurate. Let's put
Yes.
this in order. We have a signed 1977 will, which you acknowledge does not make any bequest of this car to you. Were you born in 1977?
I was born in 76.
Okay, so you were a year old. She wouldn't have left you a car.
No.
Later, you both agree that your mother and your grandmother had the intention of changing her will to leave you the car, but she never fully executed the will, which means she did not have it signed and witnessed. That's according to you, madam, because you just told me that in her papers, in her book, it says attorney has the will. And if this is the will that you got from the attorney, it is unsigned, correct?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So here we have the problem.
This is a copy of the will from 1977.
I'll take a look at it. Mr. Taglavor,
That's where
listen
I got
to me.
the address.
Listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
I think you were very honest with me a moment ago. I assume that you love your mother and you know in your heart that she may have not been good at executing this 1992 will, but that was her intention that your niece have this car.
My mother spoke to me in '96 in November.
Who are you?
I'm her daughter also. She called me in Kentucky, was calling me, and I brought up my will, she brought up her will. Nothing was ever mentioned. She said, I have 6 kids, if there should be anything left, we divide it equally. Nothing was ever mentioned once. Wendy didn't know, none of us kids knew that this other will existed. Mom never mentioned to not a one of us.
Fine, but it does exist.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I didn't care if I lost the car or not. It was
Come
a
on,
simple.
Wendy, come
you don't
on.
know. You do not know.
I know.
Joy.
You
no,
put
you
us
do not
through
know.
hell.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Wendy Cox says her grandmother promised she could have her Ford Thunderbird after she died. But Wendy's uncle, Joseph Tagliavore, claims his mother's will says all of her possessions are to be divided between him and his siblings.
How much property did your mother leave?
The automobile was it, basically.
If you went to sell, sir, a 1991 Thunderbird, how much do you think you could get for it?
5,000 maybe.
Maybe.
6, maybe. depending on what kind of shape it was in.
Okay, well, what kind of shape is it in?
It's in very good shape.
Okay,
Low
so let's say,
mileage.
and there are 5 kids?
6.
6 kids. So let's make it easy for this old judge, because I'm not real good in math, as Bird can tell you. So let's say you can sell the car for $6,000. So everybody gets $1,000, right?
Right.
The laws in every jurisdiction require a will to be executed in a certain fashion. So we're talking here about a situation where the law, Ms. Cox, in this and practically every jurisdiction in this country requires that a will and any subsequent change of the will be signed and witnessed. Correct? On the other hand, we're talking about whatever is morally right with regard to this car. I believe that you two people know that it was your mother's intention for her granddaughter to have this car, for whatever reasons. I'm sure she has a lot of other grandchildren, but that's what she intended, for this car to go to this grandchild.
Well,
We're not talking about a lot of money here, Mr. Tagliavore. We're talking about at most $6,000 or $1,000 per person who would tend to inherit the money. So maybe we can come up with some way of being fair to your mother's wishes and also being fair to you, consistent with this will, which is unsigned.
Your Honor, I also have a letter from that attorney.
So what? I don't need the attorney. They don't dispute that. Ms. Cox, relax.
Okay, but...
Relax. They don't dispute
No,
that this...
I was just wondering if that would be... I know it's not signed. I'm just wondering if he
No,
can't
I
be a
don't read
witness,
letters
can
from
he?
attorneys. If you want a witness here, you have to have a witness here.
Okay.
What I started to say to you is perhaps we can come up with something that is fair, reasonably fair to each side. Would it be fair for Ms. Cox to have use of this car until she decides to sell it, and when she decides to sell it, the proceeds of the sale of that car are distributed among the 6 of you? So that in some way, the last wishes of your mother would be honored. Would that be reasonable?
I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Well, I'm telling you, sir.
You don't understand the whole story, I don't believe.
Well, I'll listen to the whole story.
This started years ago when my mother first told me. She told me, you make sure that you take care of your brother James, which is on that will.
In 1977.
Long before then.
But
if anything happened to her, she said, you make sure that he gets his share of whatever is left because he will not take care of it himself. The money would mean a lot to him. It doesn't mean anything to me. My sister, nobody else in the family, you know, $1,000, like you say, is not much money.
so what's James's problem?
He's like one step from homeless, pretty much.
Is there something physically wrong with him, or does he have an alcohol or a drug problem?
No, he's partially disabled. He lives on state aid and stuff like that.
So he has money from Social Security disability.
Right. Which is not much.
I understand that.
$1,000 to him is a lot of money. And this is a promise I made to my mother. And then when this thing all started, as far as I was concerned, I thought my sister was supposed to be executor of this will, and this was all taken care of. She comes after my mother passes away. All the children come to my house. They say, we want you to take care of this. I told Mom in 1995 I wanted to be taken off as executor of the will. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. This was all news to me. So I agreed to do it. Then we started searching and finding stuff. Now this has turned into a total nightmare, and I'm the bad guy when the only thing I say there that is legally binding is that I have to do what the signed will says to do. Now this is all the argument. This is all the bull that I have got from my family.
Sure, because
for doing what I was told to do by the law and asked to do by my siblings.
Well, you're right, Mr. Tagliavore. You, unfortunately, are placed in that responsibility because it's not just you, but you have 5 siblings that you have to deal with,
Right,
too.
and my sister Paula says there's another will that leaves her the car. An orthographic will that she cannot find witnesses to. There's wills floating all over this place. But
Listen,
none of them are signed
there are a lot
except
of
for
wills, but no
one.
property.
Right.
You know, a lot of wills, but one old
And there's
Thunderbird.
nothing but a car.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I did not want
Sure
to sue
you
him.
did, Wendy.
No, I
Yes,
didn't.
you did.
You don't
Yes,
know
you
me,
did.
Joy. You do not know me. This was the man I thought was my
I've
grandfather,
seen your
okay?
action.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Wendy Cox is suing her uncle, Joseph Tagliavore, over her grandmother's will.
So I would assume
So-
that you cannot speak for your whole family.
Oh, no, no way.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. What do you want to say?
It's funny that Mother never said anything to anybody, not even to Wendy or Debbie. Nothing was said till after the funeral. I mean, she didn't say anything.
No.
Wendy
Who
never
didn't,
said anything.
Just a second. Who didn't say anything?
Wendy didn't say nothing. Debbie didn't say nothing. Mom never said nothing.
Listen
that she
to
wanted
me,
Wendy to have the car.
Listen to me, madam.
And I talked to her.
Listen to me.
Okay. I guess it doesn't matter. Whatever you want.
It doesn't. Let me tell you why it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
It upsets me.
Let me tell you why it doesn't matter. Very often when somebody is ill, or even before they're ill, when they are distributing their property by way of a will, and they don't want to create bad feeling while they're alive, they don't want one child to be angry with them or another child or a grandchild to be angry with them, they won't discuss what they're leaving in their will because they figure, when I'm dead, it don't make any difference. So they will not tell their children. Do you have children?
Mm-hmm.
You have children. Would you have felt badly when you spoke to your mother if your mother said to you, I'm leaving Wendy my only possession, my car? You would have been annoyed with your mother.
I wouldn't.
Sure you would have. And your kids and your children would have been annoyed. Why is Grandma just leaving? Is she the favorite? Why is Grandma just leaving Wendy the car and I don't get anything? Does that sound possible to you?
Well, if it's her, yes, possible. But if it was her wishes, Mom wasn't
No,
shy.
You don't. It's not a question of being shy. It's a question of not having your kids or your grandchildren annoyed with you while you're here to experience the feeling. Once you're gone, you're gone. Miss Cox, you understand you have a problem.
Yeah.
And your problem is that even under the common law, which forms the basis of every law of every jurisdiction, a last will and testament was required to have some sort of a writing, at least signed by the, what we call them, the testator or the testatrix. That means the deceased. The only signed will that exists here that I see is one that was made in 1977. It doesn't make any mention of a car to you. Your uncle is not a bad guy. If he did anything else with this car, but do what it says to do in the original will, which is dispose of all my property equally among my children, he could be sued by the other siblings for a violation of his duties as executor of the will.
Thank you.
Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Well, that's unreasonable. That's unreasonable. I can't permit that to happen. My sense is he would like to do the right thing. But unless all of the siblings together say, you can turn the car over to Wendy because that's what Mom wanted, he can't do that. Do you understand? What I think is too bad is that if all the siblings understand that this was Mom's request, and all we're talking about really is $1,000 that you were concerned about for James, because that would mean a lot to him, well, maybe Wendy here would say, I'll give James $1,000, give me the car.
My mother, the executor on the second will, which my uncle is not even in.
There's no second will.
No, but
Wendy,
I know. Okay,
there's
I'm
no
just saying.
second will.
All right, but my mom did agree to do that. My mom was willing to give my Uncle James $1,000 to make sure he was taken care of, because she loves her brother. It has nothing to do with the Thunderbird.
This is a very good
For
lesson to everybody.
$1,000, this is ridiculous.
It's a very good lesson to everybody. None of us feel that tomorrow is our last day, so we all tend to put off taking care of business, which keeps things orderly and organized in our lives and prevents this kind of thing happening to a family. Usually when these kinds of things happen within a family, when somebody dies, you're talking about a lot of money. It's absolutely outrageous to me that this is doing this to a family when you're talking about a car, which is the only asset that your mother had. So people who don't take care of their business by keeping abreast of what property they have and how they want to dispose of it and making clear dispositions of that property before they die are not doing their families a favor.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Morally, Wendy, I believe that you are correct that your grandmother wanted you to have this car. Legally, you cannot establish that to me. Moreover, I honestly believe, after speaking to your uncle, that if he had his druthers, he would give you this car. If it was a question of, listen, either the car is mine or it's Wendy's, he would say, you can have the car. He is not in that position. He stands in what we call a fiduciary relationship to his other siblings. He represents them. Unless there is a unity of spirit in that, among those 6 siblings, unless all of them say, give Wendy the car, despite the fact that that's not what your signed will says, he can be sued by them, and it ends up costing him $5,000 or $6,000, probably more with attorney's fees, because he'd have to hire an attorney to defend himself, and you would maybe get the car. So don't blame him. It's not his fault. It's really, unfortunately, your grandmother's fault, because she did not take care of business when she could have in 1992 by signing this will and having a fully executed copy. So this lawsuit is dismissed. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Out the back door to your right, please. 56 on the calendar in the matter of Green versus Jones. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated.
Thank you, Bert. Ms. Green, I've read your complaint. According to the papers that you filed, you and Mr. Jones met, became romantically involved, and during your rather brief relationship, you made a lot of loans to him.
Yes, that's right, Your Honor.
He was needy.
Yes.
So you want your loans, this money back?
Yes.
Because you're no longer an item.
That's correct.
And for your part, sir, you have a rather interesting defense, and your defense is she was generous to a fault, right?
Right.
And that you did a lot of work around the house.
Right.
So, when did you meet him? How long did you see him? Did you live with him? And why did you start making these loans?
Norman and I met in December of 1995, and at the time when we met, I owned a restaurant, and he owns a restaurant also. So we had a lot in common, and we were sharing various ideas and pros and cons and how difficult it was to actually be an entrepreneur. Several months after that, I was going on vacation for a week out of town, going skiing in Aspen. Norman volunteered to house sit at my house, which I said, okay, fine. And while I was gone, he not only house sat, but I gave him the keys to my car, and he stayed there for the week that I was gone. And so, a long story short, by the time I came back from Aspen, he still had the keys to the house and the car, and I kind of let him keep the keys. It didn't matter to me. And he started staying at my house on a regular basis, and he basically moved all of his clothes in, and he was living there. Shortly after that, then he said that he had some money that was stolen from him, which were the receipts from his business, and he asked me to make him a loan of $1,700. And he drew up some paperwork. I signed that. I wrote him a check for $1,700.
What kind of paperwork?
Actually, Your Honor, I do have a letter that was dated February 26 here. It's a letter from Norman explaining that he's having difficulty at his business. And the next page is a promissory note that Norman drew up explaining that he would repay me my $1,700 within 30 to 45 days, and he would make interest on it. And if he did not repay my loan, he would pay the full court costs involved.
Does that sound familiar to you, sir?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And you didn't work this loan off by doing things around the house?
Yes, if you ask me, I did.
Stop 1 second. Let me take care of this work around the house.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jones, according to your answer, sir, which I have read very carefully, you list, I assume, the most important things that you did in the house. Is that right?
That's right.
You repaired a light fixture. How did you do that?
I took the old fixture and put a new one in.
He changed the bulb.
Just a second. I just wanted to find out if what he was saying was he pulled apart the whole ceiling and
No,
the
not the whole-
walls
not
and
the
did the
whole-
rewiring in the house.
Not the whole ceiling, but the light fixture I did take out and put a new one there.
Yeah. You said you repaired the alarm system on the house. How'd you do that?
The wiring was no good, so I repaired it.
Just step by step. Tell me what you did. You went over to the window.
Right. Found the traces that come from the alarm system. They were broke, so I put new traces on the.
No, I don't understand that. I've never done that kind of work. You found the tracers, which means you found the right
wiring,
the right
the
two
wiring.
wires, right?
The wiring.
And you put it all in, right?
I put new wiring. Same thing, wires.
Okay. Did that take about as long as changing the light fixture?
Longer.
How about how much longer?
I have no idea how much longer.
A half hour longer, 45 minutes longer, an hour longer?
Give it a half hour longer.
All right. So we have 5 minutes plus a half hour. That's 35 minutes. Then we have miscellaneous jobs around the house, such as repair to cabinets. What kind of repair to cabinets, sir?
Broken hinges, knobs, these
Like
kind of things.
what did you do? Broken hinges, so what'd you do? You took
Put
a
new
hin-
hinges.
Put a new hinge on. How many cabinets did you put new hinges on?
No, 4 or 5.
How much do you think all this work that you did is worth, sir?
First of all, no one can pay me what I'm worth.
How much do you think all this was worth? All this work. $50? $60?
$500.
That's an interesting number. Okay, we'll just put that in the hopper for a while. Now, let's get back. We have a $1,700 loan.
Right.
And what else?
Then Mr. Jones needed some money because he was trying to buy some equipment for his restaurant. And he told me the story that he was asking various friends and acquaintances to loan him $2,500. He would repay the money with interest. So I wrote him a check for $2,500 the middle of June, Your Honor.
Show
And
the check to him, please.
Here's the check with his signature on the back.
Look familiar? Yes. All right. Should we take that as a yes, Bird?
I take it as a yes.
What else? What else?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I wanted a friendly relationship. She wanted an intimate relationship. That's it.
And later today,
I'm looking at you, I'm looking at her. There's no way she's going to get into your dress. I mean, not that you don't have a lovely figure, you do. It's just different figure from hers.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Sales manager Sheila Green says her ex-boyfriend Norman Jones swindled her out of more than $5,000. Norman says that he and Sheila were not a romantic couple, but she was a charitable friend.
What else? What else?
After the $2,500 loan, then Mr. Jones was having car trouble, and his car was in the shop for a period of time. He was not able to get it out. It was $200. He was taking a cab back and forth from my house to work. And so finally he asked me to loan him the $200. I agreed to loan him the $200, so he wrote me a check, a post-dated check, which I have tried to cash on many, many, many occasions, and there is no money in this account. Every single time that I went to the bank, there was no money in the account.
show him this check, would you? Thank you. No money in the account?
Yes, there's money in the account.
Now, he moved out?
Well, what happened, again, there were some other loans after that, Your Honor. All the time, Mr. Jones is still living at my house and driving my car. He had a car. His car was, sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. But I did let him drive my car because he was at the time a very hardworking man, and I thought he was trying to do something for himself, and I really had faith in him at that point in time. However, over a period of time, he started staying out later and later. He was always out, and he always had these business meetings or these dinners and whatever. He stayed out later and later, and it got to the point where he was staying out all night. And I just told him I couldn't accept that any longer. Staying out all night was not acceptable to me. So
He was your boyfriend. You were romantically
no, we
involved?
wasn't boyfriends. That's the problem here.
Just a second. You believed he was your boyfriend?
He was living at my house, Your Honor. He had keys to my house. He was sleeping in my bed.
No, I never slept in your bed. I never slept in your bed. I never
Norman,
slept in your bed.
let's
I
not go there.
I
listen,
slept in the
let's
room
not,
or
no,
on the
you
couch.
did
Yes,
not.
Miss
yes, I
Green,
did.
Miss Green.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Am I going to be able to tell my side of this?
Absolutely, sir.
Mr. Jones lived at my house for approximately 6 months. He paid no rent. He had keys to my house. He had keys to my car, which he preferred to drive over his own vehicle all the time. I let him come and go as he wished. I didn't ask any questions. I really didn't care until he started staying out all night, and I refused to let him disrespect me and disrespect my home, and I asked him to leave at that point in time. He even laughed in my face when I asked him to do that. And so I told him, I said, if you leave here and go to your place of business, and it was on a Sunday, when you come back, the locks will be changed. And he still left. And I called a locksmith. I looked in the yellow pages. I called a locksmith, and I had the locksmith come and change my locks immediately. Cost me $100 to change the locks.
Best $100 investment you made.
Best $100 I ever made. He called me shortly thereafter, laughing, telling me he thought I was kidding. And I said, no, Norman, I kid you not. You need to come get your clothing right now.
Good. Now, Mr. Jones, I want you to tell me why you don't owe her this money.
Okay, the money that I owe Sheila is the money that I signed with the promissory note. I'm not.
And what about the $2,500 you needed for business equipment?
Listen.
What if, no, I understand the $1,700.
Okay, can I explain it?
Yeah, explain to me the
Me and Sheila
$2,500.
was friends. We were friends for a while. Things wasn't going for myself as well as they are now. Sheila offered to help me. She offered me to come and stay at her house. And then she started expressing to me that she wanted an intimate relationship.
I don't think so, Norman.
Miss Green, please.
She started expressing about this intimate relationship that she wanted with me several times. And when I refused it, she said, you're going to have to take your things and leave. The other things that Miss Green done for me, she done because she wanted to help me. I don't know if she was trying to buy me or what she was trying to do, but I told her I didn't want no kind of relationship like this with her. So she got upset and told me to leave, and I took my things and I left.
Judge Judy is ready to rule. And later today,
You're sad. I try to help you because you didn't have a mother, and look at how you treat me.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Sheila Green says she helped Norman Jones out when he needed it. Now she needs the $5,000.
You sound like a very intelligent woman.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Intelligent, educated, savvy, good businesswoman.
I work hard for my money. I don't need to give it away to people. I was trying to help this man because I believed in his product, and he tried to use me, and that's not acceptable to me.
Now, Miss Green, you may have believed in his product, but as good a judge as you probably are of people in business and historically in your life, you didn't make a good judgment with regard to him, right? Because clearly, based upon the answer that I read, even before I saw him, he's a user. Because anybody that can claim a $500 bill for changing a light fixture is somebody who will resort to anything not to fess up to their obligations.
It was more than a light fixture.
That's what it was. It was a light fixture, sir.
There was several things around the house.
So what? You live there rent-free. You should have scrubbed the floors. Hey, listen, you should have scrubbed the floors if you were living there rent-free.
And maybe I did.
No, I have a cleaning lady.
Listen to me, Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones. There isn't a question in my mind that you never took a sponge to the floor, sir. Not a question in my mind. That's a nice tie you're wearing, Mr. Jones.
I'm not too
Tie's
proud.
going to cost you, along with the rest that you owe this lady, $5,000. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000.
Thank you, Your
That's
Honor.
all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Out the back door to your right, please.
Thank you.
Right, Mom.
I slept in the guest room or in the den, in a chair.
He's lying because he slept in the same bed that I slept in. The whole thing is a lie. Come on.
And now the next case.
Parties on Gonzalez Martinez versus Villanueva. Step forward, please.
18-year-old Shannon Gonzalez and Candace Martinez are suing Shannon's aunt, Regina Villanueva, for the return of their clothes. Regina says she evicted her niece and her friend for not paying the rent.
Who's Miss Gonzalez?
Me.
Is this your aunt?
Yes, it is.
You're Miss Martinez?
Yes.
Well, you can step up here. You're a co-plaintiff.
Okay.
You needed a place to stay for one reason or another because you couldn't live at home.
Yes.
You called your aunt. She took you into her house.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did she take you into her house, according to your complaint, but you also brought a couple of friends along.
Uh-huh. She said it was okay for them, they could.
Oh, so that was very nice of her,
Uh-huh.
right? Now, all the time that you were living there, you didn't pay rent. You didn't pay for food, right?
Right.
You didn't pay for gas, right?
Right.
You didn't pay for electric.
Right.
You didn't pay for your phone,
Right.
nor did your friends,
No.
right?
Right.
Now she finds herself on the other end of a lawsuit because you say, now you're going to tell me why you're suing your aunt.
Because we just want our stuff back. We just want our clothes back. We didn't want to sue her for money or anything, but she didn't want to give it back. So, you know, we didn't have no agreement to pay rent. We offered to pay her rent, and she said, okay, well, I told her when we found the job. How did she expect us to pay rent? She knew we didn't have no job.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
How old are you?
18.
Why do you expect this lady to support you?
She was only living there for 3 days, even if
No.
she was getting Social Security. I mean, 3 days, come on.
How long did you live there?
For less than a week.
No.
How long did you live there?
A month. She stayed a month. Her and her sister stayed a month.
You mean
In
this
my
young
home.
lady's sister?
Candace and her sister stayed a month.
Her
She
sister wasn't
supposed
even
to give
gonna
me
live there.
$100 out of her Social Security check on the 4th.
She told me to tell her. Why couldn't she
No.
tell her to give her the
Well, just a second. So that there was an arrangement so that she would be at least recompensed some money.
agreement to we offered.
Put your hand down. You're the boyfriend? Huh?
Yes.
Listen, I read these papers. You don't want to come up here.
Okay.
Because if you come up here, then I'm going to find out how much you contribute to the house. So I would suggest you sit there. Right? Because I have a
Everything's
feeling,
legal.
madam, that
Everything's
everybody
legal.
takes advantage of you.
Yeah, they do. A lot.
Well, that's not too smart. Now, what kind of junk did they leave behind?
They left. This is the stuff that she left behind. Sanitary napkins, her underwear, a few underwear, shorts, shirts. Ain't worth $192. None of it.
Okay.
A binder with her diary.
Would you just transfer
and
that
letters.
merchandise, please?
And
She
letters.
has no dresses.
For
Okay,
her
she
boyfriend.
kept our winter formal dresses because we had just left high
Just a
school.
second. Now you got that stuff, and you got your album. Now, what else do you say your aunt has?
She has our dresses from our winter formal and our prom. She even tried them on in front of us and asked us how she looked in them.
What do you mean your? Your?
My prom dress, my winter formal dress, and my sister's winter formal
Just
dress.
a second. I'm not interested in your sister. Your sister's not here.
She wasn't able to.
Why did you leave your dress at her house?
I left them for her to try on because she was supposed to wear them to a party.
Impossible.
Yeah, impossible.
Y'all listen to me.
You should have
And
saw the
listen
way
to
they
me.
looked on her.
Impossible. I'm looking at you, I'm looking at her. There's no way she's going to get into your dress. I mean, not that you don't have a lovely figure, you
No.
do. It's just different figure from hers.
She got in, but we couldn't get her out.
Listen to me. Have you seen her dress?
I've seen them when she showed me them the first day, and I told her I thought it was cute of them to think they would fit me. The dresses would not fit me.
Have you seen their dresses after she moved out of the house?
No. No.
Why would you leave your dress in the house?
Because I was supposed to go back and get them.
Well, no, that's not an answer. I've already told you that I consider this whole lawsuit very ungrateful on your part.
Why couldn't she just give us our stuff back? We went over there with the cops and everything. She didn't.
You
want
went
to
over
give
with
back.
the cops?
What did
To
she
your
want to
aunt's
beat
house?
me up?
Who opened her door and let you in the house and said, here's my home, here's my food, here's my everything?
Well, she could give us our clothes. We were going to leave it. We got along fine until she didn't want to give us our stuff back.
You just, listen. Are you double talking me? Do I look dumb to you?
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
I still don't understand why you believe it was appropriate to sue your aunt, because you're not out of dress, according to you, who spent a lot of money on you. You lived there, according to this, 3 months, right?
4 months.
Right?
Yes.
4 months? She fed you?
I was there for 3 months. Yes.
4 months.
She fed you?
Yes.
Good. Your case is dismissed. Now, you want to prove to me that she has your dress?
Well, she probably, their boyfriend over there probably sold them at his garage sale, so.
Excuse me.
Just a
Yard
second.
sale.
We don't need money,
That's,
honey.
that's speculation. She says she doesn't have them. Madam, you can't constantly be a sucker. Do you understand?
Yes.
You understand?
I'm not doing this
That
anymore
means
for families.
for anybody.
Anyone.
For anybody. This case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Can we leave the stuff here, Chum?
Back door to your right.
Judge Judy.
251 on the calendar in the matter of Hipsher versus Lemos. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Have a seat, ma'am. Gentlemen, have a seat.
This is a really interesting case. Miss Hipsher, this is your dog, Buddy.
That's my dog, Buddy.
Don't cry yet. Okay? Because you have to tell me what happened.
I know.
So take a deep breath. You want some water?
Yeah, I'll take some. Thank
Okay.
you.
According to these papers, you and the defendant lived together with your 2 children. I assume that these are your 2 kids.
Yes.
The relationship was going south. You, Mr. Lemos, wanted her out of your house with the 2 children.
Correct.
And she was living there with the kids and Buddy.
Exactly.
According to your papers, you started eviction proceedings against her, correct?
Yes.
I'm not going to get into why. And sort of at the tail end of these eviction proceedings, it was about 4 months into trying to get her out of the house. According to your answer, you went over to the house and took her dog, right?
Correct.
You say you have a good reason for going over and taking the dog, but you took her dog. She didn't know where the dog was for how long?
2.5 years.
And you had seen him during those 2.5 years?
I have telephone records otherwise and stuff to prove that him and I were in communication over the telephone, visiting each other at each other's homes, the whole 9 yards.
Had you discussed Buddy?
Yes, a lot.
When you came home and found Buddy missing, what did you do?
I immediately called John at his mom's house and stuff, and at which time he told me that he had no idea where my dog was. He had no inclination of, he says, Irene, I'm sorry, but no, I didn't have anything to do with that. I feel really bad. Made it sound like really personal and stuff. So I went, other than to the Contra Costa County Animal Control, and I set up, that's when I started setting up the missing reports or otherwise and stuff. I searched the premises, went around the blocks, went around all streets, even made up signs. But that's my family member. That's
okay. How long had you had Buddy at that time?
I had Buddy for 7 years before John took him.
Okay. Now, how did you ultimately find out that Mr. Lemos had your dog?
My son Joshua was playing with his new girlfriend's son. I have no idea what his name was, but he had mentioned, Joshua asked his son, how many dogs does John have? And the boy came back with 2. Well, John automatically saw that the conversation was happening, pulled away the child from my son and stuff and told him, no, you gotta whatever, took him back, and then when the 2 confronted again, the 2 children, the boy says, oh no, I made a mistake. John only has 1 dog. He has Zeus.
So then your son came home and told this to you?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
And this was at his house, place of residence. I was visiting the neighborhood.
Okay, at his house, but not his mother's house.
No.
Which is where the dog finally ended up.
Yes.
You're his mother, correct? Yes. So tell me how you confronted him, ultimately.
I went to his house and stuff. Neither one of these 2 people were home, and whenever I looked over the fence, that's where I saw Buddy.
So you went to his mother's house?
Yeah, and that's whenever I found out that's whenever because at first and stuff, I didn't let John know that what was being said between the kids or that I even questioned it. Because if I did, he would have just ultimately ran with my dog. So I took it upon myself and stuff without even questioning him or without saying anything to him. I showed up at his mom's house knowing that she was at work and he was at work, showed up and just peered over the fence.
So then after you found out that they had your dog, what did you do?
I went to the San Leandro Police Department and filed a case against him and stuff, which I have copies of or otherwise. It's 9711035. Okay.
Did you call them and say,
yes,
I want my dog back?
Later on that
Who
day.
did you speak to?
I spoke to John at first. Actually, I just hear her in the background saying how she's going to kill my dog before she gives him back to me. She's going to put my dog down. I could hear her screaming in the background, yes, John. And then all of a sudden and stuff, he's telling me and stuff. At first, it was a good conversation. It was like, oh, no, how you doing? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then all of a sudden, I asked him, I says, John, I says, I heard you had my dog. You know, he says, Irene, I don't have your dog. I haven't seen him. I says, John, I was there. Ask your mom if I went by, because I went by her place of employment. She was hanging outside, and I went by in a nice little cute little red car and stuff, and honked my horn, and she's all, not knowing who the hell I was, because I'm sure she would have given me the #1 finger first. But she waving at me and everything and stuff. I called it up.
All right, Mr. Lemos. You took her dog, right?
Yes, yes.
I'll hear your story.
Okay, the reason why I did take the dog was like the last 3 to 4 weeks before she finally got out of my house. She wasn't hardly even around at that time. All of her belongings were still there, but there was numerous times that I would go to my house, check on my house. We couldn't live together, of course, so I was staying at my mother's house. There was numerous times that I'd go out there and I would see that the dog had no food or water. And there was a couple of times that I had went out to my house, spent the night out there, and she never was there. I don't know where she was. I had no way of contacting her because I didn't know where she was, going from point A to point B. And so I had felt that the dog was being neglected because when I would go there, he wouldn't have any food or water. And I felt compassion for the dog, and I thought that I could give him a better home which she could provide, because the last 4 weeks, it seemed to me like she could have cared less about the dog, or even trying to get out of my house, for that matter.
Mr. Lemos, I read your answer, sir. You know, judges are supposed to be able to relate to situations with a certain amount of common sense. Let me suggest to you what my common sense made from your answer. Let's pick a month. Let's say in December you decided to separate. She's living in your house with her 2 children. She says, I'm not moving now. You go down to municipal court, housing court, and file papers to have her evicted. She gets an extension of time. Is that what happened?
That's exactly what I did.
Because the judge looks at her 2 children, and says, I'm not going to put her out on the street tomorrow, even though it's his house. These people lived together for 2 years. She needs a little time to relocate. Meanwhile, you're getting more and more annoyed. So a month goes by, and 2 months go by, and you're getting hotter and hotter. And 3 months go by, and finally in month 4, you decide that the family pet is being neglected. So I'm going to take the family pet. Maybe next time, if you don't move, one of your children will be missing.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When John first took him, I was crying because he was my pal.
And later today,
I hope that in the future
you have also
you
had
make your
problems,
dream come
so
true and you really become Carlotta.
This was not my dream.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 32-year-old Irene Hipsher is suing her former fiancé, John Lemos, for stealing her pet dog, Buddy, and keeping him for over 2 years. John says he only took Buddy because Irene was neglecting the dog.
Now, maybe your compassion for the dog was mixed with a little animus towards the plaintiff, but you have no right to take her animal. And then for 2.5 years, you lied to her.
If you thought there was a legitimate question of animal neglect, you have the right to call authorities and say, this animal is being neglected. You didn't do that. How come?
Well, at that particular time, before that period, she was still around with the dog. Up to the last of 3 to 4 weeks, I didn't see her that much anymore.
So if you didn't see her that much anymore,
I mean, as far
the
as her
few
being-
times that you went by the house, sir, and the dog was there, why didn't you call animal control and say, look at this dog. It's all skin and bones. It hasn't been fed. It hasn't been watered. It's being neglected. Then they would have taken the dog. And in all probability, if you were a person who was responsible, you might have gotten her dog. But the dog wasn't skin and bones, right, sir?
No, he wasn't.
No. So the question is, now what do we do with Buddy? The dog is her dog. Yes. The dog belongs to her. He brought the dog to you? Madam.
Yes.
Why don't you step up here? You're his mother.
Yes.
When he brought the dog to you, what did he say?
Just about what he told you, that he felt that the dog wasn't being treated right because there wasn't any food or water. And so he said that he felt that we could take care of the dog better, and he hadn't seen Irene. He didn't know where she was, so...
And you didn't question it?
No, I didn't.
Did you tell her you took the dog?
No.
So you've become attached to the dog, too?
Absolutely.
But the dog is hers.
I agree.
So it has to go back to her. Yes. Period. That's the end of discussion.
All right.
Yes, sir.
You know how she said it was being treated well? Her backyard was way worse than what we have now. They have apples all over the ground, not even grass.
I don't even have an apple tree anymore.
Well, they got rocks
Tell me
and
your
everything.
name.
Jason.
Jason.
Pimentel.
You think this dog knows who you are?
Yeah.
Let me see. Let the dog go.
Come on, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here. Yes. Oh, yes. No, that's okay, boy. That's okay, boy. It's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Don't hit him too hard, Jason.
Oh, yeah. That's okay, Bobby's. That's okay, Bobby dog. Yes, it is.
Now, the question is, Mr. Lemos.
Stay.
You did the absolute wrong thing, and I think that you traumatized not only the plaintiff, she's an adult.
Dog.
But these two little kids, they weren't even there. That's all right. The dog's going to have to get used to, let the dog go. The dog's going to have to get used to your family all over again. But you traumatized two little children who were really innocents, and you traumatized them because you were annoyed that their mother wasn't moving out of your house fast enough.
Buddy.
True.
Buddy.
So,
The kids weren't there the whole time.
for want of a better word, sir,
Buddy.
you have to be punished.
Buddy, come.
So I'm going to punish you to the tune of $2,500. That's all.
Parties are excused. Step out, please.
Buddy.
Out the back door to your right.
Mama.
Basically, instead, it all boils down to he's a mommy's boy. He has a brand new house. He's been living with mommy for the past 2.5 years.
No, I
and him and I've
haven't.
been broke up. Yes, you
No,
have.
I'm back at my house.
And now the next case.
Parties on Innocente versus Sierra Olivia. Step forward, please.
Actress Celeste Innocenti is suing playwright Jesus Sierra Oliva. She claims after he promised her the lead role in a play he was producing, the role was given to another actress. He says it was up to the director.
This is a case about principle. Plus $100.
Exactly.
What's your first name?
Celeste.
Celeste. And your first name, sir?
Jesus.
You are an actress by profession, or is that your avocation?
Well, I wish I earned more money at it, but it is my profession.
Okay. According to this complaint, Jesus offered you a role in a play that he was producing, correct?
Yes, correct.
A big role.
Mm-hmm.
And that play was to be performed at a small theater in September. I believe September 13th and 14th.
12th and 13th.
According to you, sometime later, he advised you that you didn't have the part and you had to audition for it again?
No, he never advised me that I didn't have the part.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Listen, you say I'm the boss, applesauce. You can pick anybody else you like. Carlotta is spoken for.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Actress Celeste Innocenti is suing playwright Jesus Sierra Oliva. She claims after he promised her the lead role in a play he was producing, the role was given to another actress. He says it was up to the director.
He said you had to audition for it again. He had some problems with the production.
He didn't say that I had to audition for it again,
What did he
Your Honor.
say?
He did say that auditions would be held. He left a message on my machine in late August, and then when I called him back, he said there were so many new parts and so many people had dropped out. He asked about my availability at that time. And then I told him, well, I'd been working on it for 2 months, and you have to understand, he initially called me to audition. He had gotten my name, and he said, well, you know, I heard you were a very good actress, and I would like you to audition. So at that point, having invested all this time and energy, I said yes. And in fact, the venue had been changed to a better theater, a more inconvenient date. But then I did say yes, I was still interested.
So you did go and audition again?
Well, no, the director, finally he had gotten a new director because the previous director had dropped out. So the director never did answer my calls or return my calls, and finally I did get a hold of him, and he said, well, rehearsals will begin on next Monday. This was September 1st, Labor Day, and then there will be every Monday and Tuesday until the performance. And then that Friday he called me back and said there were going to be auditions Saturday and Sunday, and I said, excuse me, auditions? I had been working on this role for 2 months, and Jesus had hired me to do this role. And he said, well, then come in and meet me. And then the next morning, being Princess Di's funeral day, I get in there. I was already depressed. I get in. I heard somebody reading for the role, and then I asked Jesus about it, and even then he said, oh, no, you are Mama Carlotta. And then he said, you are the best I've seen so far. And you know, at that point, the director still didn't, you know...
Ultimately, he chose somebody else, the director.
The director told me that Jesus had never told him that the role was precast.
Okay. So he hired somebody else.
Exactly, yes.
And they had promised you a $100 stipend for this performance.
Yes.
You, sir, according to your answer, had some problems with the original production. Is that right?
Yes. I had problems that my theater, which I had for the 12th and the 13th of September, I thought I had already made the deal with the director of the Chicano Center. And it resulted that at the end, he said on July, when I called him, Jesus, I'm very sorry. I didn't put you on the list. Your event is not in my calendar. So I felt terrible because I had already promised my actors that they would be performing on the 12th and the 13th.
Now let me stop you right there, sir. When you say you promised your actors, this is one of the actors that you promised.
I did.
Now, could you, and then you went out and had to hire a new place and a new director.
That's right.
So you hired a new director.
Yes.
You did the hiring.
Why
didn't you tell the new director that this lady had the part?
I told him that I already had 6 actors. I had already lost 6 of them. And the director insisted on being himself Maximilian, or else he would not be part of the production. And then it seemed to me like everybody wanted to be Maximilian, all the men wanted to be Maximilian, and all the ladies wanted to be Carlotta.
Just a minute. Am I correct, sir, that you had already promised her the role of Carlotta?
Yes.
Well, so if everybody wanted to be Carlotta, what difference does it make? This is your production. Why didn't you just say to the director, you can cast anybody else that you want for other roles?
Yes.
But I already have promised this lady, and for 2 months she's been working on the role of Carlotta. Is there any reason why you didn't say that?
Because I did not ask Celeste to work on the role for 2 months.
Ah.
I told everybody that their commitment would be for only the 2 first weeks of September.
For the performance?
For the performance
No,
only.
just a second.
And the rehearsals.
But she's an actress, so she was working on the part. Did you give her the script?
Yes, I did.
So she had the script from the
Yes.
time you first promised her the role.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
As far as I'm concerned, sir, you had an obligation when you hired a new director to tell him that at least one of these parts was already promised to this lady because you had given your word to her. She, as a result of your promise, went out and performed her job, which was to familiarize herself with the role, to work on it for a couple of months. It was within your control to see to it that she got the part, because the director was also your employee. And you could have said to the director, pick anybody else you like, sir. Carlotta's spoken for. You didn't do that.
I did not because he said, I am going to choose the actors.
Listen, you say I'm the boss, applesauce. You can pick anybody else you like. Carlotta is spoken for. The commitment was for $100?
Yes, it was.
That's what you're suing for?
Yes.
Vindicated, $100 for the plaintiff.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue.
Case number 380 on the calendar in the matter of Bledsoe versus Bryant. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, sir.
You folks were engaged according to these papers and moved into a house together. The engagement didn't ripen into a marriage and you broke up.
Correct.
You say she owes you some money.
She agreed at the time that we broke up to pay the phone bill, which was approximately 80% hers, while she did not work the 3 months while we were engaged and living together, she made numerous calls, and the phone bill equaled almost $500, and she made probably 80% of the bill, and she agreed at that time to pay for that. No, for the phone bill, and then, half of the utilities, half of the rent. She only gave me $940 the entire time after we moved in.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Just a minute.
And she gave me that $940, but the bills were considerably more than that, obviously. I mean, what she should have paid, all told, is $1,371.19. That's if we split the bills in half. But I said, once you just pay the phone bill, she agreed to that. She was going to pay it after her first check from her new job. She had just gotten a job right at the time we split up, and she was to pay me at the 1st of August when she got paid, and she did not. Then she put it on, and she said, I'll pay you the next month. The next month came. She did not. In the meantime, I had to borrow money from my parents in order to pay the phone bill, which was $500, so I could get another phone later. And at that time, she didn't pay in September. She promised me by the end of the month. I called near the end of the month. She told me she had no intention of paying me. She didn't feel she owed me the money, and that I would just have to sue her. Okay. And
my first question to you, Mr. Bledsoe, is this. You say that during the course of the 3 months that you lived together, she should have paid you $1,371.
If we were to have half.
If you were to split the expenses. Mm-hmm. And she paid you $940.
Correct.
Which leaves $431 if you were to split the bills in half.
Correct.
And you say that she agreed to pay the $500 phone bill in place of that. So she's really paying $69 more than she should have.
However, I also paid one of her truck payments for $277.97 on my credit card, and she was supposed to pay me before the following month, before interest accrued on that amount, and she did not. And then the next month, she had another bill, and she wanted me to do the same thing, charge my credit
Mr.
card.
Bledsoe. So, is what you're saying you forgave everything as long as she paid the $500 phone bill?
It was a settlement. It was nothing more than a settlement.
What I'm asking you is what you're saying that in lieu of the truck payment and the $431,
yes,
that you were prepared to accept the $500 phone bill?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Now I'll hear from you.
Okay, Your Honor, we need to back up because when I agreed to marry Robert Bledsoe, who I loved dearly at that time, he had convinced me that I should quit my full-time teaching job. I was
not interested in that.
Okay. Well, I moved to Alta Loma, where we rented a house. Okay, he borrowed $1,600 from his mother and father, Mr. and Mrs. Richard Bledsoe. When I received my very last teaching check, which was of $1,400, I gave him $1,200 cash for the deposit. So he gave his parents the $1,200 cash, which left $400 that he had to give them. When things didn't work out between us, okay, I lost my $1,200 deposit.
Well,
But I have to say that I worked the entire time. I was a substitute teacher.
Just a minute.
And I have my pay.
Just a second.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because I read that in the answer, and Mr. Bledsoe, you seem to have left that out, although you do indicate that she paid for 3/4 of the deposit, the
Yes.
security deposit.
She did.
On the house.
Yes.
And that was lost.
Yes.
And that was $1,200?
The security deposit
Yes.
was at $825. Then there was $825 for first month's rent.
Well, let's not count the first month's rent because you lived there.
Right.
Let's talk about the $825.
Yeah.
But we had to come up with. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
She paid the $825.
No. Well, she paid $1,050, and then I paid $600, which equaled $650. $1,650, which was the full move-in.
So she paid more than you did.
Oh yes.
How much more?
At $400.
Okay. So she paid $400 more than you did, which she lost.
She lost that, yes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I cannot prove that I gave him cash, and that's a sorry thing that I didn't get receipts from my fiancé when we were going out because I assumed that we were going to be married, and in the course of being married, that it would all wash out in the end.
And later today,
Did you ever tell your sister that this was a gift?
No, I did not, Your Honor.
She probably can't even come today and look me in the eye and say that. That's why she's not here.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Robert Bledsoe wants his former fiancée, Renee Lynn Bryant, to repay him for past due bills. Renee says he made her quit her job to move in with him.
Well, it seems to me, Mr. Bledsoe, that what's fair is fair. If she lost $400 more than you did, she has to be given credit for that. Don't you believe so?
Well, no, because I offered her at the time that we were going, we were about to split up. We agreed to stay together even after we agreed to leave the house. And we had to leave the house just because I had given them a check to pay for the rent that month in July, but I didn't have the funds. She only gave me $200 to cover that. She was unable to pay her half of the rent that month.
Now,
however, I was able to pay my half of the rent.
But that's my next question to you, Mr. Bledsoe, because I read your papers very carefully, sir. You say the last month that you were there, she gave you $200 towards the rent. You wrote out a check for the entire rent, gave it to the landlord. And how much was the entire rent?
$825.
But then you stopped payment on that check.
I had to stop payment on that.
What did you do with the $200 that she gave you?
Oh, I began paying bills. I began paying the bills. Most of the bills.
Just a minute. We've already talked about the bills. The bills were the original $1,371 that you said that you had all together. What did you do with her $200? Did you give it back to her?
No. She told me I could keep it.
Well, so far, let me understand
because
this,
she knew
Mr.
that
Bledsoe.
she owed me money.
Right, but she can't keep owing you money if she keeps giving you money, sir. She gave you $200, all right?
That's
so
part
far,
of the $940. That is not in addition to the $940. That is part of the $940. The $940.
Oh,
I have just added up everything she ever gave me.
So you are giving her credit. The $940 includes the $200?
Correct.
Is
But
that
it doesn't
correct?
include
the
deposit.
It doesn't include the $400.
And it doesn't include the money that I made as a substitute teacher working for Altaloma, Cucamonga, and Riverside that I gave him cash.
Yes, it does.
Well, just a second.
All you
just
gave
a
me
second.
was
You
cash.
can't prove that you gave him the cash.
You can't
Just
prove
a
that I didn't
second.
give- Excuse me, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
All right. So we have $940, and I'm adding on to the $940 $400, which is the deposit.
However, it's $200 more dollars.
She lost $400.
Right.
She lost $400. You lost.
I lost $200.
But you're already
Or wait.
getting. Just a second. You're already getting credit for that, sir.
No, she lost $600. She lost.
She paid $400 more than you did.
Right. She paid $400.
$400 more than you did. That's all that I'm interested in. Well, that evens out the $1,371. So now all we're down to is truck payment, $277.97. Do you owe him that?
No, Your Honor.
Why not?
Because I assumed since I had paid more the deposit that was his way of. I assumed since I had paid more the deposit that was his way of giving me back some of the money.
No, I've given you credit for that.
Okay.
I've given you credit
I gave
for that.
him, you see, you're right. I cannot prove that I gave him cash, and that's a sorry thing that I didn't get receipts from my fiancé when we were going out because I assumed that we were going to be married. And in the course of our relationship of being married, that it would all wash out in the end. And I did, yes, Your Honor.
$277 is for the truck payment. It didn't work out, so you have to pay for your own truck payment.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you had a $500 phone bill. Show me the $500 phone bill. Is this $1,300 that you gave me, including all the utility bills and everything else?
And yes.
Well, then it includes the
rent.
telephone.
Yes. I didn't say that it didn't.
I thought you had...
I didn't say that it didn't.
I thought you had
I'm sorry.
an ending bill of $500,
No, when I
sir.
said utilities, I
Well,
was
I've already
including
taken
phone.
care of the utilities.
Mhm.
It's a wash. The utilities and her additional $497, not $1,100. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $277.97. Thank you. That's all.
Bodies are excused. You may step out.
I just want to forget about it all. But I want to say, you ladies out there, get your receipts for our cash.
And now the next case.
Bodies on Mackins versus Richardson. Step forward, please.
Hairdresser Terry Mackins is suing her brother-in-law, George Richardson, for a house loan and money for a stove. George says Terry is retaliating because he beat up her brother.
According to your complaint, you lent your brother-in-law and your sister some money.
Yes.
You lent your brother-in-law and your sister some money.
Yes.
For house. And also sold them a stove.
Yes.
They refused to pay you for either.
As of this date, yes.
So first tell me, how much was this loan towards the house and how it came about?
I loaned my sister and my brother-in-law $700. My sister and my brother-in-law called me and asked me if I would lend them this money so they can go to closing on their home. I got cash. I got a check from my credit union account, got it mailed to me, and I got it cash. And in December, we had bought our own home. And our home, in our kitchen, we wanted to do our kitchen over again. We had a brand new kitchen. And we got rid of the cabinets, and we sold my brother, my sister, my brother-in-law and my sister the stove for $150, which was to be payable as soon as they got the money as well. So that's the $850 I'm asking
Well, tell
for.
me how the sale of the stove came about.
My brother-in-law was over our house, and we had talked, which was to be payable as soon as they got the money as well. So that's the $850 I'm asking
Well, tell
for.
me how the sale of the stove came about.
My brother-in-law was over our house, and we had talked to him about we were getting rid of certain things in our kitchen. And we told him we were selling the stove and how much we wanted for it, and he said he wanted it. And Reginald Bear, who's my witness, delivered the stove to their house.
Okay. So, what's your story?
Well, mine had first given well, we actually told her we was going to pay her back when we had a lawsuit, and we was getting ready to settle. And we
What
said,
kind of lawsuit?
A car accident. And we were going to pay her back the money that she loaned us for the house. And Terry told us it was a gift. She gave us this money.
He's lying, Your Honor.
Just a second.
No.
Just a second.
She gave. And then she came back about, what, day later, because she called. That's what she told my wife.
Just a second.
Sure.
Where's your wife today?
She's home. That's what she told my wife.
Just a second.
Sure.
Where's your wife today?
She's home. She's disgusted with the whole thing.
Just a second. You just told me that the conversation that she had allegedly was with your wife.
Right, and she...
Well, then I'm
converted
not
me.
hearing that conversation because that's hearsay.
So is this agreement with us giving it back to her.
No, sir. Shh. Sit down. I'm not ready to hear you yet.
No problem.
No, sir. You just acknowledged that your original agreement with her, when you called to ask her for the money, was in-law. She has lent you money before, and you have paid her back.
Plenty of times.
And you have paid her back.
This was a gift, Your Honor.
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She's lying. And no.
No, don't speak.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
And you have paid her
This
back.
was a gift, Your Honor.
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She's lying. And no.
No, don't speak.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Terry Mackins wants the money back she gave her brother-in-law, George Richardson. George says,
Doing what I'm saying to you.
I completely
You
understand.
first said to me that it was a loan, and you agreed
No,
to
I
pay
never
her
s-
back.
I never. Okay.
And you agreed to pay her back. That was your understanding.
Right.
She gave you the money, and I assume you. And when you did that, the intention was to pay her back. Now
Right.
you tell me that she had a conversation with your wife who was not present. And your not present wife told you that it was a gift. That's what you just told me.
That's exactly what I said.
Right. Present. And your not present wife told you that it was a gift. That's what you just told me.
That's exactly what I said.
Right. Did you ever tell your sister that this was a gift?
No, I did not, Your Honor.
She probably can't even come today and look me in the eye and say that. That's why she's not here.
That
No, that's not true.
Absolutely.
That's not
Absolutely.
true.
That's why she's
That's
not here, because
true. My sister, my wife is disgusted with my sister-in-law because
why did you beat her brother up?
because he assaulted me.
Your Honor, this is why we're here in court today.
Why did you beat her brother up?
Because he assaulted me.
Your Honor, this is why we're here in court today.
Right.
This is why my brother-in-law is not paying me back, because I called him up the day after he fought my brother, and I kind of like told him about himself because what he did was not necessary. The whole thing is, George and Wendy owes me money, and I would like my money back. I don't have $700 to give nobody. I work very hard for my money, and I've never told Wendy.
The stove get to your house?
The Reginald brought it over to my house.
Oh, okay.
Told Wendy.
The stove get to your house?
The Reginald brought it over to my house.
Oh, okay. Now,
Called me up and said, though, you want the stove? I said, well, look, I haven't talked to Wendy. Wendy's my wife. I said, I haven't talked to Wendy because we have gas. And I said, we have to decide Wendy, because Wendy was at work. So next day, he brought it over. And he brought it down and talking to Wendy about the stove. So Wendy decided, we both decided that, get the stove. I even had a cookout at my house. Reggie was trying to make me buy the stove. No, man, you gotta buy the stove. I'm like, what's up with this?
Speak to me.
I called them, told them to come get the stove. They would not come to get the stove. The stove stayed on my porch, Your Honor, for almost 8 months. So my wife stayed on my back just to get my wife off my back.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You don't have to rush and pay me the $150, but I charged him $150 for the stove and $100 to install it because I am a licensed electrician.
Did you install?
Trying to make me buy the stove. No, man, you gotta buy the stove. I'm like, what's up with this?
Speak to me.
I called them, told them to come get the stove. They would not come to get the stove. The stove stayed on my porch, Your Honor, for almost 8 months. So my wife stayed on my back just to get my wife off my back.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You don't have to rush and pay me the $150, but I charged him $150 for the stove and $100 to install it because I am a licensed electrician.
Did you install it?
No, I did not. What I did,
Well,
I dropped the stove off
Well, how
on
could
his
he
porch.
use it if you didn't install it?
Well, I told him when he's ready to get it installed, I would install it for him. So I did not. What I did,
Well,
I
how-
dropped the stove off
Well, how
on
could
his
he
porch.
use it if you didn't install it?
Well, I told him when he's ready to get it installed, I would install it for him.
So one on the calendar in the matter of Landolfi versus McMillan Barden. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Landolfi, I've been in this business for a very long time, and I've read a lot of complaints. I read your complaint. I read your revised complaint. I still, for the life of me, don't understand what you're suing for, except that I do understand that for a short time, you entered into a lease agreement with the defendants.
Correct.
And that was because you were going to have some medical treatment.
Yes, sir. Ma'am. Excuse me.
Where do you live normally?
I was living in Vallejo at the time and attending the Martinez Outpatient Veterans Clinic. And because of the problem couldn't be resolved by their doctors, they suggested a specialist, not a veterans doctor, in Palm Springs, an internist. So I came down to see him.
And you needed a place to stay for a couple of
Correct.
months. You found an apartment in their facility, in their
First
complex.
30 days I stayed in a motel. It was too expensive. Then I found the Brentwood.
Now tell me about your lawsuit. Tell me why you think that they owe you $4,700 or $4,800.
First of all, the verbal agreement, of which I have a receipt for, so it's also in writing, was $600 a month from September 7th to October 7th to November 7th, 60 days. And I have a receipt dated that day, and I'll show you. I have a whole file of exhibits for you, Your Honor, if you wish to see them. Let me look at mine, though, so I can give you your copies right now if you wish to look at them.
You rented an apartment, according to you, for $600 a month from September 7th until October 7th.
Well,
Stop,
no,
don't rustle papers.
excuse me.
Don't rustle papers.
November 7th, Your Honor.
Well, you left before October, correct?
I left on the 29th of September to go to Vallejo, flew back to pick up my car, my clothes, and to make my final visit to Martinez Hospital.
How long did you live in their apartment?
From September 7th through the 29th.
Of September.
Yes, ma'am.
And how much rent did you pay altogether?
$1,200.
You paid $1,200.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you get any back?
I got $400 back.
When did you get the $400 back?
I told her in writing on September 27th, here is the balance of $500, which brings the apartment rental to November 7th. And they only take cash, no checks, no credit cards. And I put 3 items. Please ask the maid to clean up. She hasn't cleaned anything.
Did I ask you a question? I said, when did you get the $400 back?
I got the $400 back after that note, and I got the $400 back on 9/29.
So, you asked for a refund, and you got a partial refund.
Correct.
So you asked for how much, sir?
The rent from September 7th to October 7th is $600. They gave me $400 back. They still owed me $200 for the month of October. I paid October all in advance. I paid $700 for the month of October, Your Honor, and I have documentation to prove that.
Please. You said you paid him $1,200 altogether. You got $400 back, which means from your hand to their hand ultimately was $800. Correct?
Correct.
All right. And you lived there for a month, and you said your rental agreement...
No, Your Honor, I did not live there for a month. I lived there from September 7th to September 29th when I went home to go to the hospital and get the rest of my clothes.
Okay. I am assuming, sir, for the purposes of argument, that's the month of September. So that's $600.
For 3 weeks.
Okay. Which means $200 owing. So you want to tell me why they owe you $5,000?
Okay. They still owed me $100 for my $700 October payment. They owe me $145.53 because when I came back from the emergency treatment at the hospital on October 2nd, I walk into my apartment and there's a gray-haired gentleman with a Pennsylvania license plate on a new Cadillac sitting on my sofa, and both of us say simultaneously, "Who are you?" I said, "This is my apartment. I just rented this apartment." I said, "You can't. I have a lease till October 7th. It's now the 2nd. So I go see Miss Barden. She said, "Well, you left." I said, "I didn't leave. Where's my clothes? Where's everything?" "What clothes?" Wait a minute. I flew back to Vallejo to pick up my car and go to the hospital. I didn't carry it. I had 3 left shoes in me because I still can't. I haven't worn shoes in on my right foot in 6 months now, 6.5 months. Where's my jacket? Where's my slacks? Where's my 3 pair of left shoes, my underwear, bathing suit, etc., etc.? Nothing was there. I said, "Where's the rest of my money?" She said, "Well, you didn't give me the key back." I said, "I forgot the key. They were on top of the TV. And you stole the telephone." I said, "What are you talking about? You're not getting your money." So I claim 7 days rent at $20.79 a day comes to $145.53. The total now, with the 100 she still didn't give me, was $245.53. Using her exhibit, and I think Your Honor should look at this. It's her handwriting.
Just would you get to the thousands? So far I'm hearing hundreds, sir.
Okay.
Get to the thousands.
You have to forgive me, Your Honor. I got a touch of the flu. My brain is not as fast as it normally is. This lady claimed she was a nurse. The stress, harassment, this stuff, that stuff that she put me through continually came to my house after I filed the first small claims case, which I filed on November 18th, and she never accepted it. But she came speeding into my driveway with a car, nearly knocked the mobile home down that I was now renting, came at me, threw a punch. I'm proud to be a Marine lieutenant. I ducked, it hit my shoulder. She sped away at 30 miles an hour, and it's a 10-mile-an-hour park because a lot of seniors there walk around with walkers. So I call the police to file assault charges. I work with the DARE program with the police department, so I know all the cops. I tell them what's going on. They come back and they say, Don, she says you're throwing eggs and confetti and stuff all over her car. I said, don't be silly. Here's the small claims case. I just filed it 3-4 days ago. Stay away from her. She's crazy. If you want, get a restraining order. I said, forget it, Pete. I'll tell her to stay away from me. He said, we already told her don't cross the street. And that was the assault aspect. So I'm now charging $3,845, punitive due to the dire medical condition I was in, and she knew it, because she saw me every day sitting at the pool with my feet raised, because the doctor said you got to get the blood going the other way. And she's a nurse, et cetera, which I'd love to know.
I didn't understand the complaint when you wrote it, and I still don't understand it.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
I told him, you are the best from Budapest. He says, what? He probably believed I say you are the best.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 66-year-old Don Landolfi claims he has a refund coming from landlord Rod McMillan, and he was assaulted by apartment manager Greta Barden.
What I don't understand is, you were in the apartment for, assuming for the purposes of argument, for the month of September,
3
at a
weeks,
rent
Your Honor.
according to you of $600 a month. You understood that you were not getting prorated rent for the 7 days. You were paying $600 for the month of September. You paid, according to you, $1,200, which would have brought you up from September, when you moved in, until November 1st.
7th.
Or November 7th. But something happened. I'll let them have their chance to explain to me what their version of the events was. Something happened, and when you came back from your trip, you found somebody else in the apartment. You had already, prior to that time, sir, asked for your money back, and you were already given $400 back before you took this plane ride home. Is that right?
Semi-right.
No, I'm always right. Before you took the plane ride home, they gave you back $400. That's what you just told me. Now, what did they give you the $400 back for?
Because I had paid the whole month of October 7th to November 7th in advance. $700 I had paid.
So, why did you ask them back for the rent?
Because they wouldn't fix the electric plug, the TV didn't work. It said, I told her I will get out on October 7th, 1 month rental, yet I paid you for 2 months. So I wanted my $700
okay,
back.
now I see. So, you left on September 29th, and you had already received back the $400.
For October.
For October, with the understanding that you were going to vacate the apartment by October 7th.
Correct.
Oh, now it's coming clear. I knew eventually we'd get to it. So when you came back on October 2nd, really just for the purposes of picking up your clothes or your things.
And living there for 5 more days.
And living there for 5 more days, you found somebody in there.
Correct, ma'am.
Okay. Now, when you left to go home on the 29th of September, who did you speak to and tell that you were going to be back on the 2nd of October?
The manager of the complex, Greta Barden.
Okay, Ms. Barden, you are the manager of this complex.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I'm getting to you. Did he tell you that he was coming back when he left on September 29th?
He told me he was leaving, and that was it. That he was tired with the place. He demanded the money. I told him I will keep, because since he did not paint, then he had to pay for the electric bill, which was $106 plus. And then I told him I will return the other $100 when he returned the apartment key. I saw him moved out and he did not give me the key. But then when I went to look, and it seemed like he was gone, I found this in the door that it said, my place until October 10th, stay out note. Then I called the police. I asked Mr. Robert Hernandez from the SWAT team in Palm Springs came over. I said, sir, this gentleman has moved out and left this note there. What do I do? So he knocked, and there was no response. Then I opened with the master key. He told me to stay out, not to walk in. He walked into the place, calling his name several times, loud, all around the place.
All right.
He came out and he told me I could go in then.
Okay. He was paid through October 7th.
Right.
And you moved somebody in there on October 1st.
I believe so.
Okay. So you owe him for a week.
Right. Excuse me, but the police told me since the place was vacant, because he checked with me the closet and everywhere, since the place was vacant, that apparently his clothes were warm.
I don't care what the police told you. You know, if they wanted to be lawyers, they would have gone to law school instead of police school. What I'm telling you is you owe him a week.
Right.
Because you charged the other man for a whole month.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you
$1,000 a month.
Shh. So you owe him for a week.
Yes.
Clarification. Note here, signed by him, says, I'm leaving 7 days early, therefore my attorney as you, etc.
Let me see.
And our problem, he wanted to be reduced.
All right, just a second. Let me see this.
Well, here's our answer to that. This is the answer.
Exhibit 12, Your Honor. My exhibit.
Mr. Linforti, he said, I am leaving 7 days early. Therefore, per my attorney, as you caused this situation, you owe me the $100 plus 7 days at $20.59, or $145.53. Total $245.33. Okay? Now, so
Excuse me, there's one more sentence there, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Due to my medical condition, no stress aggravation is due to me. At noon today, please, they never gave me the money. That makes October 7th the official departure date for me. They never gave me the money.
Whatever. They can't keep
What do
this
you mean,
money
whatever?
anyway.
I paid for the month of September,
Just a
Your
minute.
Honor.
You can't rent a place twice.
I agree. Thank
So-
you. Thank you.
They owe you $245.33.
Excuse me, Your Honor,
Ma'am.
53 cents.
Excuse me.
You say 33 cents. One
I say
place
53, 145.53. Oh, okay, excuse me.
Your Honor.
Yeah, excuse me. Say I'm wrong.
I am 100% wrong.
Good.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
I says, when are you going to stop this? So stupid guy, and he came at me with this part of his arm. He pushed me in this part, and I went backwards.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Don Landolfi says his former landlord, Rod McMillan, and apartment manager, Greta Barton, owe him a refund on his place.
Listen to me. That's what you owe him. You can't rent a place twice. That's unfair. Now, let's get to this assault nonsense.
Let's get to my clothes first. That's $700 worth of clothes, Your Honor.
Just a minute. Was there anything in the apartment?
No, ma'am. The police is a witness. He walked in there first, and I walked the second time with him.
I'd like to see the
There was
police
nothing,
report.
and it was the telephone gone, and it was a coffee maker gone, were all the lights on, the air conditioner in full blast. There were the two TV sets on, and
so all the electrical equipment was on.
Was on. Plus, he took everything from the apartment, plus the telephone.
Let's
and
get to
coffee
the assault,
maker.
please. Did you go to his house after you were served with a small claims summons?
I did not. I was not served ever with any small claims court,
Okay.
Your Honor.
But did you go to his house?
He kept putting eggs and vanilla ice cream and soap in my windshield. I called the police.
Just a minute. Did you see him do that?
I did not see him. I slept in my car several times trying to catch him. For some reason, he was not there the days. One time when I came and I found the egg in my car, since he was living across the street, I saw him drive away after he saw me get to my car.
So you thought it was him?
I believe it was him. There was no other reason for anyone else to be.
Okay.
Then,
so you thought it was him?
Yes.
So then what did you do?
Then since I had the egg, and I was sick and tired of 6-7 times doing this, and the police, all they did was a frequent patrol. So then I thought, well, maybe I'll stop it because I was ignoring it. So I thought I'll go over, and I knocked at his window in his trailer park. I knew it was his car because it says Marine. So he came out, and I said, when are you going to stop this? So stupid guy, I said, I'm sick and tired. So he said, get out of here, get out of here. I'm going to sue you. And he came at me. How could I attack him when he's older than me and a Marine? I wasn't going to about. I was too scared of his size and his mental condition. So with this part of his arm, he pushed me in this part, and I went backwards until I was able to turn around and hold myself against the trailer, or I would have fallen to the ground. I made a big deal out of it because I was scared, so I wanted the neighbors to be aware that my presence, so he would not do anything drastic to me. He kept screaming at me. He said he was going to sue me and everything. So I went in my car. I drove to the manager of the place. I showed him my car, and I explained to him that this was done by Mr. Aldolfi, and if ever was done by anybody in the parking place, to please come and look for me, because I was a witness to what harassment he's been giving, sexual harassment and all kind of harassment, and I wanted them to be a witness. Oh, I would be happy to help him. So I went back to my apartment, and I called the police. They came, they talked to me, then he went over to him and told him to stay out of my place, not to even call me, because he was calling me several times. He was coming over my place, knocking at the door, demanding the money. I was one time at the lounge, and he came over me. I was not aware he walked into the place, and he called me a bitch and insulted me, and he walked away because I told him there was no money coming to him. I had to call the locksmith. I had to.
Okay. Okay. Does he still, what?
There is a locked gate to that property. You can't get in unless you have a key to the lock. So
It was
everything
unlocked
she told
during
you.
the day.
May I finish, please? I can't use the word perjury. That's your decision. This lady is lying to you, Your Honor.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
I find, after hearing this case, you own the property, sir?
I'm the president of the association.
And you're the manager?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a lie also. She's not the manager anymore.
I'm a temporary manager.
She was manager at that time.
Are you feeling better, sir?
A little bit. Thank you, Your
Good.
Honor.
I'm going to help you feel a little bit better, Mr. Landolfi. But not a lot better, sir. Not $5,000 better. They owe you $245.33. Period. And I suggest that if you still live next door to each other or across the way, you stay as far away from each other as is possible. This case is over.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Of Greg versus Allison. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Miss Gregg, this was your boyfriend?
Yes, it was.
For how long?
Around 2 years.
Did you live together?
Yes.
You have any children?
Yes, we do.
How many?
1.
How old?
14 months.
How old are you?
19.
And how old were you when the baby was born?
18.
What kind of work do you do?
Assembly work.
How old are you?
20.
Terrific. So you got into some big fights in the house, is that right?
He was the one always starting fights. He always used to break everything in my house. And he owes me a lot more than what I'm suing him for, but I didn't think I would have a good chance because the only proof I got is a radio that he had given to me after he broke my new one.
Well, so let me understand this. Because your complaint says he broke your radio.
Yes.
He says, I did. Why did you break her radio?
I was off. You know what I mean?
Didn't you know how to say that another way?
I was off, though.
Wait. All right. So you broke her radio.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you bought her a new one.
Well, I got it off my brother. My brother gave it to me, and I gave it to her.
So you have a radio.
I could show it to you. It was all, first of all, it doesn't rewind. It eats up your tapes. It gets only 2 stations.
No, it works. You can plug it in right now. I'm trying to tell you.
Did you throw a telephone of his out the window?
It was a TV, but
A TV, excuse me.
I had a console, but I'm dropping that because I ain't worried about the $300 or whatever it was.
Did she throw your TV out the window?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I guess she was mad because I didn't go home or something.
Excuse me, Your Honor, but I can't pick up a $300 TV. It's in his mother's house, and he
It's not
probably
at my
watches
mother's
it every
house.
day. And he probably watches it every day. And he
Well, what
wrote,
did you throw out the window?
I've never threw anything of his
My
out
clothes,
the window
my
'cause
CDs,
I was scared
my
of him for one
TV,
thing. I couldn't
all
throw
my
anything of his
Well,
out the window.
all my stuff.
He's broken my kitchen set. He's broken glass tables. He's broken through my window.
She's bugging. I never broken in her house.
Miss Gregg, how long did you know him before you decided to have his baby?
It was my mistake, and I understand
How long
that.
did you know
like,
him?
It was about a week.
No.
And then,
no.
And then she was like, yeah.
How long did you know him?
Around 9 months.
It
Sound
was like a week, but she got pregnant in like 9 months.
It only takes 9 months to have a baby.
Yeah, I'm saying, but after
I
like a
got
week, she was like,
pregnant.
oh, don't use no condoms, whatever. I was like, nah, I want to use condoms. And she
First
was
of all,
like,
I wouldn't. I'm sorry.
And she was like, nah, we ain't gonna do nothing if you use condoms. So I was like, all right, then.
Ay, 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 ay. Mr. Allison,
Yeah.
I'm going to suggest to you, sir, you're 20 years old.
Yeah.
There are ways of expressing yourself in a court or in most other civilized locations that don't involve using four-letter words.
All right, I'm sorry about that.
Do you understand?
Yes.
You go to church ever?
I used to go to church.
I
when
mean,
was
would
young.
you use these words when you were talking to your priest?
Nope.
Because you knew enough not to do that, right?
I was young, too. I was like...
So you mean you got older and dumber?
Nah.
You mean when you were younger, you were smarter?
Why I gotta be dumb?
Well,
You know what
because
I
if
mean?
you were younger, you said you knew not to talk to your priest and
I never
talk.
talked to the priest, really. I just went to Sunday school, like, for like 3 weeks. That's it.
Oy.
Then you got kicked out.
All right. You want a new radio?
Yes.
Give him back the one he gave you.
You want to keep this radio?
No, I don't.
She doesn't want that radio, Mr. Allison.
It's not
She
wrong
wants a
with
new radio. And she's suing you for $120 for the new radio. Wish I could give her $120 for a new radio and give myself $500 having to suffer here listening to your language. You have a child, boy or a girl.
it. Little girl.
Do you visit with her?
Well, I seen her yesterday. That's it, though, for a while.
You're going to try to be a good father?
Yeah, I'm going to school in the fall, and I got a job right now.
You wouldn't want your daughter to grow up listening to that language that you use, would you?
Nope.
Excuse me, but he swears all the time in front of her. So if he didn't want her to grow up listening to that, he wouldn't do that in front of her.
Well, you're absolutely right.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
One thing I'm really pleased about is that you have intention of going back to school. Maybe you can learn something. Maybe.
And later today,
The only way she has to check, sir, is if she takes you to court. So this is a very foolish thing to have. Very stupid.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 19-year-old Kimberly Gregg claims 20-year-old Jordan Allison, the father of her child, smashed her radio. Jordan says Kimberly threw his television out the window.
So the two of you, who had absolutely no business making a child, made a child, and neither one of
Why
you...
didn't we have any business? We used to love each other.
Because you made this child, sir, when you were 18 years old?
It doesn't matter.
Oh. I don't have enough hours in the day to get through to you, sir. But I certainly hope one thing I'm really pleased about, is that you have intention of going back to school. Maybe. Just maybe. You can learn something. Maybe.
What are you trying to say? I don't know nothing now?
Right.
Right.
$120 for you. Buy yourself a new radio. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'll pay child support. I'll see my daughter, but I ain't being with her no more.
That's why you call me up all
I don't
the
call
time.
you. You're crazy. You're crazy.
Oh, all right. I
This
got
girl's
messages
crazy.
to prove it.
All right.
I ain't even
Prove
gonna
the
pull his
messages.
card, but he knows what I'm
All
talking
right,
about.
okay, whatever.
and now the next case.
Parties on Basler versus Cora. Step forward, please.
29-year-old blackjack dealer Michelle Bassler is suing her ex-husband, graphic artist Peter Korer, 32, for not paying his share of their federal income taxes. Peter is countersuing his ex-wife for harassment.
Ms. Bassler, you and the defendant were married and divorced.
Correct.
And pursuant to your judgment of divorce, according to the defendant, he says that you were supposed to share the marital debts. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you get a statement from the Internal Revenue Service saying that you were both deficient in paying income tax for a year while you were married, and they took your whole refund to satisfy that deficiency. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that was a joint debt?
Yes.
So you say he should be responsible for at least half?
Your Honor, a statement came to me from the IRS stating that almost $1,100 went to paying his Social Security.
His Social Security?
Number, not my number. The only reason why I was responsible is because I was married to him at the time and we had filed jointly for 1994 taxes.
Were you working in 1994?
No.
In the year that was filed? You were not?
No, I was not.
What kind of work was your husband doing at that time?
He is self-employed.
You have children together?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
How many children?
One.
How old is that child?
He just turned 5.
So you were staying home with him when he was young?
Yes, I did.
So how much did they take altogether?
They took $1,089.30.
Can I see, please, your judgment of divorce?
Sure.
Here you go.
What kind of business are you in, sir?
I do graphic arts and printing.
Now, Ms. Bassler, this judgment's divorce is clear. It says that the plaintiff, that's him, shall be responsible for 1/2 of various community debts, including Sears, Sizes Unlimited, Broadway, Phone Company, and IRS for 1994 taxes, among other things. Defendant shall be responsible for 1/2 of the community debts and the debt against the 1988 Mercury. This divorce judgment was in 95, was filed in 95. Clearly, this says that you're responsible for half.
Correct.
Okay. That means you're responsible for half.
Correct.
Good.
We're equally responsible for half of all community debts. And I spent over $3,000 in community debt. And I figured she didn't have a job when we were divorced. And I wanted to just, try to be fair. I paid him. I figured eventually one day down the road, it'll all wash out.
Okay.
The first penny taken from her, she blows up.
Okay. So let's see. Plaintiff, that's you. Sears bill. I'm going through each one of them. Let me see what you paid to Sears.
Your Honor, I have a $22 check for Sears that I don't have a copy of, but that was all that I paid.
$22 to Sears. Sizes Unlimited.
$150.34.
$150. So I'm going to give you credit for half of that. Sizes Unlimited. That was your bill?
Yes.
$75. What's next? Broadway.
Total for Broadway was $198.86.
Let's make it an even 200 because I'm so poor in math. Is that all right with you?
Yes.
Half. You get credit for $100, sir. I assume you have receipts for all these things that you paid.
Canceled checks, yes, Your Honor.
Good. So in total, sir, instead of these thousands of dollars that you're talking about, you got $175 that I'm going to give you credit for because that's what the divorce decree says.
Okay.
Right?
Fine. In the judgment, it also stated that we were to share in the payment of her father's house, which I paid a payment of $1,045, and that was the only payment made.
Just a second. Okay, both parties shall be equally responsible for the defendant, that's you, refinancing of her house in California while your father resides in the house. What does that mean?
Basically, we borrowed money on the house, and I agreed as long as her father was living there that I would share in the cost.
What do you mean you borrowed money on the house?
The house belonged originally to Michelle and her sister. Her sister basically wanted nothing to do with the loan that we needed when we moved to Las Vegas.
Just a minute. What you're telling me, you took out a home equity loan on the house?
Yes.
Well, why don't you just say that? That's something
Okay.
I understand very clearly. You took out a home equity loan on her house.
On her house.
On her house, on her property.
Correct.
And what'd you all do with the money?
We moved to Las Vegas.
Together?
Together.
How much money, sir, would you say you used of the home equity loan?
Between the two of us, all of it.
How much?
Your Honor, I can't give you an exact
Give me an
amount.
idea.
Okay, the first loan was in the amount of $75,000 is correct. Over $40,000 of it went to purchase a home here in Peter's name. I was not on that house. I had given him the money for the down payment. We lived there. And the rest of it was to pay off consumer debt and to live, because Peter didn't have a job from the time we moved to Las Vegas until shortly after we moved in October of '91. It wasn't until the end of January of '92 that he found employment.
Is that right?
That's correct.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
$270 a month is an outrageous amount of child support from what apparently is an educated man like yourself in his own business, right, who's got money for a tape recorder.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Michelle Bassler wants her ex-husband, Peter Corr, to pay his share of their federal income taxes. He wants her to stop harassing him.
The reason I find that interesting is because I read your answer, sir, and in your answer, sir, you said that she didn't work, that you supported the whole family, that you worked and took care of everything, she just stayed home.
For the most part, I met the obligations. I was the one earning the money to pay back the loan.
Well, how much did you pay back?
We were paying probably around $1,000 a month. But
how much did you pay back?
We paid back at whatever the loan payments were until there was a balloon at the end of the loan. That's what caused the refinance.
How much did you pay on
The
it?
loan was a 30 due in 3. At the end of 3 years, I had a refinance. Peter made one payment before our divorce, and the rest of the time my sister and I took care of it.
Okay. Now, what's all this other thousands of dollars for harassment, Mr. Cora?
She has taken me to court for several things. She has told the district attorney statements that were absolutely false, and she has dragged me to court. She's made me out to be a deadbeat dad. I have paid every dime of my child support. My child is my primary concern. My divorce decree says 18% of my income. Since my income fluctuates, my child support payments fluctuated. So she...
did you have lawyers representing you in this divorce proceeding?
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Don't you understand, madam, that when somebody is self-employed, you don't say, I'm going to accept 18% of his income. That brings you back and forth every single time a month comes due, because you don't have a paycheck to look at, and you have absolutely no way of checking. And the only way she has to check, sir, is if she takes you to court. So this is a very foolish thing to have in a support order, 18% of your income. Very stupid.
Your Honor, can I play a tape for you?
Just a second.
It's very critical in the harassment charges.
Just a second.
Yes.
Tell me what the tape is going to say to me.
Basically, it goes with her rambling on and on, how I'm going to take you to district court, I'm going to take you to family court, I'm going to keep you in court, I'm going to make your life miserable.
So why don't you go into court, sir, and say, I want a fixed amount to pay every week?
We already have that. The district attorney ordered me to pay $270 per month, period.
Your Honor, that issue is not finished. He has to prove his income. He supplied me with computer-generated income taxes in family court. And when we went for divorce, I was not represented. Peter went to court by himself.
Listen to me. I think that until you get the issue of support resolved, there is going to be continued acrimony. You cannot have a support order that says 18% of your income, especially when you are self-employed. So I would suggest as fast as you can to get the matter of support resolved.
It has been.
No, not according to her. If a district attorney directs you to pay a certain amount of money, sir, That is not a court proceeding. A district attorney is there as an interim advocate. So he has suggested that until this matter is ultimately resolved, you pay $270. But I'm telling you this, sir, if the judge, after hearing this case, determines that you, in fact, earn more than what you told the district attorney, based upon several factors, some of which I don't think I'm going to tell you now, so that they might come as a surprise to you. You must be prepared to pay more than the $270 a month, because that doesn't probably represent 18% of your actual income. We understand each other?
Yes.
Perfect.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Your counterclaim, sir, is dismissed. I am
You won't
awarding...
allow me to play this one last piece of evidence?
No, I'm not interested in her telling you she's going to take you to every court in the United States, including the Supreme Court of the United States. $270 a month is an outrageous amount of child support from what apparently is an educated man like yourself in his own business, right, who's got money for a tape recorder. So if she's annoyed that you went through clearly with her a lot of her money, I can understand that. Shouldn't have to trust you. I get $373, Bird. I get half of 1089.
Right, which is 544.65 was what I came up with.
544. Go ahead.
65.
Less
And then
ones.
I took away 175, and I
what'd
came
you
up
get?
with 369.65.
Oh, that's right. 369. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Versus Gonzalez. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Ms. Fair, the defendant is your former landlord.
Yes.
And you're suing him for several things. First, for wrongful eviction and the cost of your relocating to a new
Yes.
apartment. Second, you are suing him for damage that he allegedly did to your furniture. And what's the third thing you're suing him for?
Harassment.
Oh, harassment. Okay. When did you move into his apartment, and how did you find this apartment?
I found an apartment through one of my coworkers that I work with. They went to church together. He told me one of the ministers at his church had an apartment available. The neighborhood I was living in was a very bad neighborhood. So I went and met John, and he said I could move in. I paid him. I moved in. We became friends. After we became friends, he started dropping by all the time, coming by when I have company, coming unannounced, letting people in my house when I'm not at home.
How do you know that?
Because when I got home, one of the witnesses was in my home, and he admitted he let him in.
We'll get to that in a minute. Go ahead.
And he soaked my couch with a water hose that was stored in his garage.
Just a second. How did he soak your couch with a water hose?
It was in his garage.
What was it doing in his garage?
I stored it there.
What was that part of your rental agreement?
No, I asked him, I had received another couch, and I asked him could I put it in his garage, and he said yes. He had the only key to the garage. He watched the people put it in the garage, locked the garage up. One particular night, it was a confrontation between my sister and I one night. He banged on the wall. He turned around, then he came at 1 o'clock in the morning, knocked on the door. My daughter's father was visiting, asked him, could he please come back at a reasonable hour? He got very indignant, said, no, I demand for her to come outside right now. Get your so-and-so hand off of my door, referring to my door. He told him, no, you would have to talk to her in the morning. The next day, he called me on the phone. He left a message, said I had to make other arrangements. If I did not come and speak to him, that I was going to have problems out of him, that I was going to have a problem. Then he gave me a 3-day notice when I didn't owe him any rent. And since then, it's been a nightmare.
Hold this on a second. You went on and gave me a whole long story. I asked you a question. How do you know he soaked your couch?
I seen him.
You saw him?
Yes.
Ms. Fair, tell me how you saw him damage your furniture.
Well, he asked one of the witnesses out there. He says, I want
Don't tell me what he asked the witness. Tell me what you saw.
I seen him walk to the back of the house with a couple of his friends with the water hose. I walked around the other side, and he squirted it with the water hose.
Squirted what?
The couch, the whole living room set, and my table.
You saw that?
Yes, I did.
Really?
Yes, I did.
The reason I ask you, really, if that really happened, your eyes are fluttering.
Oh.
That's not a good sign, Miss Fair. The reason I ask you that is because usually people, when they prepare papers for court, put in the most important things, and nowhere in your papers that you prepared for me, stop looking through your documents when I'm talking to you, nowhere in your papers that you prepared did you say you observed him soaking your furniture. Nowhere.
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but I have a police report where I observed seeing him do this.
Yeah, let me see it.
I have a police report for the annoying phone calls asking me to get out.
Just a second. What was the date that you say you observed this?
6:30, June 30th.
And that was before or after this incident with your ex-husband?
This was after.
As a matter of fact, it was 2 weeks after, 2.5 weeks after.
Right. It was not my ex-husband, it's my daughter's father.
I see. When did you serve her with an eviction notice, sir?
I served her with a 3-day notice to ask her ex, who threatened me, to leave the premises. That was the 13th.
What date?
That was
13th.
the 13th.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, sir, you want to tell me about this furniture?
Your Honor, she moved in and she had furniture. I helped her move, and this furniture was not conditioned well. It was already destroyed. Something happened in her family where she got some other furniture. Someone was going somewhere for 2 or 3 years. I believe it was jail.
Whatever.
And I allowed her to move the furniture in my garage on a temporary basis. I told her I have gas equipment back there. You cannot keep it back there more than a month. She said, no problem, I'll get it stored. The gentleman that moved it in, he moved it in, I allowed him. But what I found very odd is that he left all the pillows on the outside. I came and told her the pillows were on the outside, but the sofa and the couch itself were on the inside. So the pillows were accumulating moisture and just daily. When this event occurred and she refused to leave, I told her, I said, hey, I got to get the garage clear. I got to get some stuff in there. I asked her to move it. The gentleman that had moved it in there, I asked him to move it. He said he would do it within an hour. I left the garage wide open for an hour. He didn't. I took her couches out with friends and put it right where her pillows are in my backyard. And they're there right now. I haven't touched them.
I want to tell you something. That sounds pretty disgusting that all that stuff is in your backyard. What kind of an apartment unit is this?
It's a 2-unit, man. It's just in the backyard. I have it's a pretty spacious backyard.
So the couch pillows sat outside in the backyard?
The whole time.
How long?
Maybe 2 months.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
You blew him off.
No, I did
Oh,
not.
sure you did. You blew him off, madam. You said to him, I'm cooking for the church. I can't talk to you now.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Stephanie Fair wants her former landlord to pay for wrongfully evicting her and ruining her possessions with a garden hose.
Now I'd like you to tell me, Miss Fair, I've already heard the story about the furniture.
I have pictures, ma'am, to show you and the receipt for
Just
the
a
couch.
second. You had I believe that the pillows for that couch were outside in the backyard all the time.
No, they were not, and
I
have
believe him.
witnesses.
I believe him. He does. Listen, he's under no obligation to store your furniture. He told you that he wanted to have it out. Hey, I'm speaking. Stop talking. He's under no obligation. He rented you an apartment. He did you a favor by letting you stay, letting you put your furniture in his garage. You were not paying for the garage space. You were not paying for storage. Clearly, in the beginning or the middle of the month of June, there was some sort of disagreement between the two of you, which I'm going to get to in a moment, having to do with your daughter's father. Clearly, that was a problem. It's a problem that I read about in the papers, and it's a problem that I heard just now. So then he said, get your stuff out of the garage. He can tell that to you in an hour, in a minute, in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes. He gratuitously let you use it.
But he didn't say it directly to me. He told the gentleman, he says, when is she going to get her couch out? He says, well, when I move her, which I was planning on moving, she will get it out. He stood there with his friends laughing, about 5 or 6 of his friends, went and took the couch out. Later on, he came back, and I went to the police.
I heard about the couch. I'm moving on to something else.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
I see the letters that you sent him. The letters that you sent to him clearly suggest to me that you were looking for him to give you money. That's what they say. You talk about the California Rent Board, for him to tell you why you want him to move, and to discuss relocation fees. So clearly these letters of June 28th suggest to me that you wanted him to give you money to move. So what I would like you to do now is to tell me what was the nature of what you call harassment.
Okay, I have a phone harassment letter here from where he kept calling me, asking to move. We had been friends.
Just a second.
Okay.
Don't talk fast.
Okay.
Phone harassment.
Yes.
What kind of phone harassment?
Telling me that he was going to throw me and my daughter out if we didn't get out because he was upset. He was friends with my daughter's father up until my father threatened his male ego or something and told him, please, you can talk to her in the morning. 1 o'clock in the morning, it's not appropriate time to come to the house. I have documentation where he came to my house at 10:30 at night, 3 days before rent was due, asking for the money, telling me, well, if you don't have the money, then I can demand this from you. And if you don't have this, I'm going to throw you out and I'll be sure to get you out. He kept calling on the phone from 67 times from the 13th to the 17th, telling me he wanted me out. It was a nightmare for me to have to be harassed. The kids go to dump the trash. My child had to be harassed. My niece had to be harassed.
Just a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. He told you that he wanted you to move on the 13th. That's what you're... Just a second.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yes.
He told you he wanted you to move on the 13th. Now, I would like you to tell me, Mr. Gonzalez, March, April... She moved in March.
Yes.
March, April, May, any problems?
She was always late, but I didn't care because
Always
of her
late with her rent.
She was always late, but her situation, because of her daughter, she was in a place where she witnessed a crime that scared her. I understand I have a child myself, but to say, I'm sorry.
In March and April and May, other than being late in her rent, was she a reasonable tenant?
Yes, she was.
What happened, and you had no problem with her?
No.
Other than the late rent?
Other than the late fee.
What happened, sir, in June?
In June, her daughter's father had came down before I met him. He seemed to be a pretty nice guy. On June the 12th was the altercation when her daughter's father and her, the child himself, got into a physical fight. Things started sounding breaking. My daughter is six years old. I didn't want her to see this. I went over, I calmed things down, I asked him to stop. It seemed to be okay, but my daughter goes to school too, Your Honor, and I have to take her 23 miles just to get to one school, so we have to get up quite early. At 2 in the morning, she was on the phone yelling. I mean, she was
Who's
cursing.
she?
Miss Fair. She was cursing so loud. It was through the... I just banged on the wall to say, please stop. I didn't even go over there. It didn't stop. After it continued for about 2 to 3 minutes, I went over there. I told my daughter to stay here. I asked, could I speak to Stephanie? She wouldn't even come to the door. The ex-husband or whoever, he told me if I rang the bell again, he would kick my, this and that. And I didn't want to become volatile. I rang the bell and asked, could I speak to Stephanie again? He came out and greeted me face to face. Not that I can't defend myself, Your Honor. I just chose not to. I left the porch. I called her and I asked her, I said, I'm going to need to speak to you tomorrow. I didn't even tell her she had to go. All I did was wanted to speak to her about rectifying this situation, this nuisance. I have a right to live in my own property and feel safe myself. And I was doing her, I can't believe I'm here, Your Honor. I was doing her a favor. I didn't charge her first or last rent. I didn't charge her a deposit. I lowered the rent. I bent over backwards for her. And for her to do me like this, I'm appalled.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
He has an absolute right to the peaceful enjoyment of his property and to tell you to leave.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Stephanie Fair wants her former landlord to pay for wrongfully evicting her and ruining her possessions with a garden hose.
So when you called and said, I have to speak to you tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
What happened?
She laughed at me and hung the phone up. I tried to contact her. She would walk by. The units are so close that I would try to walk and say, can I talk to you for a minute? Nothing to say to you. She would put her, like this. The thing. Like that. Nothing to say to you. And her children.
Well, let me ask you this question. Miss
That is
Fair,
a lie.
just a second.
Because when he told me that me and my daughter could stay on the premises, you're telling a lie, John, because he says, okay, I'm going to tell you this. You better get over here and talk to me right now. If not, you're going to have problems out of me. When he says, if you don't talk to me right now. So when I said, look, John, I'm cooking dinners for the church. I'm selling dinners for the church. I will talk to you when I get home. No, you better come over here immediately.
Miss Fair, you had no problem with him.
No.
Shh. if you had no problem with him, there's no basis for this lawsuit. So don't anticipate my question.
Okay.
You had no problem with him in March, April, and May. He didn't tell you to leave. He didn't serve you with an eviction notice. This problem started when your daughter's father came to and stayed with you for a couple of days. Is that correct?
The problem, no, because I had gotten an argument with my sister. He had never had any problem. Him and my daughter's father were friends. They socialized, they sat and ate dinners and stuff together. Okay, now what I'm saying is
I'm saying is, tell me what happened that he did to you to harass you in March.
In March, he didn't do anything.
Good. Tell me what he did to harass you in April.
Coming over to my house all the time.
That's baloney. Tell me what happened in May.
Nothing happened in May, ma'am.
Right. What happened in June when your daughter's father came to visit and there was noise coming from the apartment. Then it all started, and when he tried to rectify the situation or try to talk to you, you blew him off.
No, I did not.
Oh, sure you did. You blew him off, madam. You said to him, I'm cooking for the church. I can't talk to you now. So he served you with a notice. Then you serve him with this thing. Where is it? Where's this thing? And you say, you want me to move? Pay me money. That's what you said. Not only pay me money, but these were all the things that you said you were going to fix in the apartment that have never gotten fixed, right?
Yes.
Kitchen countertop, bedroom sliding glass closet door, all these things that you say weren't being fixed. You were, at that point, after you were served with a notice, because he didn't want unruly people living next door to him in his house, then you started setting yourself up to get money from him. That's unreasonable.
I did not set myself up. He knew my situation. For him to harass the children, I have witnesses here that was here for him to let people into my home when I asked him not to let people into my home.
What people?
Before this
Just a
even
second.
occurred.
What people did he let into
He
your
let
home?
Benita Wade, a witness right here.
Well, this is somebody that you know?
Yes, it is.
Well, how do you know her?
She's my friend.
So what do you mean he let her into your house? Step up here. You?
Not Benita.
Who's Benita? Step up here. Did he let you into the house?
Yes.
Tell me how that happened.
I was there waiting for her to get home, and she
Right.
hadn't arrived yet.
Yes.
And he said, well, I'll let you in. So he
Good.
let me
Nice.
in.
Sit down. All right. So now I've heard the couch, I've heard the harassment, and I've heard relocation fees. Now, I'm about ready to hear your side, sir. On what date did she finally move out of the apartment?
She moved out it was July the 20th, Your Honor.
Okay, is that correct?
No, I moved out on the 19th, and I have a receipt.
Fine, you moved out on the 19th. Did you pay rent for the month of July?
No, I didn't.
Good, you owe him money. Now, you are also suing for destruction of property. What property, sir?
Yes, I am, Your Honor. In the initial agreement there, and I think you have it there were five things that I said I was going to fix. Only one thing I didn't fix, and that was the kitchen countertop. I let her move in early. She had voiced...
What did she destroy, sir? Stop giving me a whole story.
I'm sorry. There's the repair to the rear bedroom door. She had someone I guess she said something's wrong with the door. She had them nail it. The whole frame is broke. All of it's broke. And the kitchen floor is, her refrigerator leaks. And I can't replace the tile. The floor is warped. And I got the best estimate I could get. They were doing me a favor by doing this. I went out and did this for her to get. I'm not trying to get any money from her that she doesn't owe me.
Good.
I just want to be compensated.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to teach you a very good lesson, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Good lesson is landlord, if they're smart, they get a month's rent and a month's security. That's what the security is for. Security is for this kind of damage. Because I know if I'm going to ask her, she's going to say she didn't cause any of that damage. Is that right, Mrs. Fick?
I have pictures. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
I did not cause any damages
All right.
that
She's
wasn't
going to say
there
she didn't
before.
cause any damage. Listen to me, Mr. Gonzalez.
I have pictures of
I'm not interested in your pictures. She's going to say she didn't cause the damage. You say she did cause the damage. The only thing I know for sure is that she owes you for rent. She owes you $435. That's on your countersuit. Your lawsuit, on the other hand, Miss Fair, is, in my judgment, bogus. Totally and completely bogus. A, I find no basis for the harassment. He came home saw this young lady who he clearly knew was part of your either friends or family circle standing outside, and he said, I'll let her, well, you want to wait? Wait inside. Now you're complaining about that, the fact that he was being a nice guy. You had no trouble with him, and he had no trouble with you. March, April, and May, only when your former boyfriend, the father of your daughter, was there, and there was an altercation, was there a problem. And since he couldn't get any satisfaction from you, he has an absolute right to the peaceful enjoyment of his property and to tell you to leave. He also has no obligation to take care of your stored property after he's told you to leave. And I do believe that the pillows that he said were outside on the lawn were outside in his backyard. The couch may have been inside, but the pillows were outside, tossed away like so much garbage. So I think that if there was any damage caused to your furniture, you did it. So your lawsuit is dismissed, and I'm entering a judgment for the defendant in the amount of $435. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. I'll be back to your right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
87 on the calendar in the matter of Dodds versus Novick.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Oh, well, another love affair that didn't quite make it. Right?
Right.
Right.
According to your complaint, sir, you're suing the defendant for $5,000 for a couch and a television set
That's correct.
that you bought and are still paying for on your credit card. But she has.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
The defendant and I were seeing each other since the end of '95, and things were going well, so we had talked about moving in together, specifically into the condo that her father owns. She came to me and said that to furnish it, she wanted, among other things, a leather couch, custom made, and a big screen Sony TV. She has no credit because it was ruined in the past, so I had to do it. I didn't want to, but she promised that she was going to pay for it. And I said, okay, I wanted to make her happy. I mean, I cared a lot about her. And so I went ahead and I signed for it, and thinking
Did she give you any money for the couch?
At that time?
Yes.
No.
Well, she says she gave you $500.
She gave me money, but it wasn't $500.
Well, how much was it?
She came, at first
Just tell me how much.
$380 in 2 payments. It was a total of $380.
You purchased the TV in that period of time, too?
The TV came in February, and I think the couch came a month later in March.
What was the agreement with the television set?
There was no agreement. We were just going to pay it off as whatever.
As a couple?
Yes. I think we were talking about getting a joint account at that time.
And then the romance was over?
No, it lasted, but
Did you ever move in?
No, I never did. And it was mutual at the end.
All right, Ms. Novick, let's hear
Hi.
your end.
Okay, first of all, I've known the defendant for 12 years. I already had a couch on layaway at Jennifer Leather. It got discontinued. We went looking for another couch. We went to Leather Factory and we saw one. Derek really liked the couch. He said, you know, if you really like the couch, I'll go ahead and buy it for you. I said, no, it's kind of expensive. He goes, well, you know, your birthday's coming up. Let me just buy it for your birthday.
That's not true.
And then at that time, they wanted a deposit of $500. I said, and then he asked me, could you go ahead and give me the $500 and then the rest I'll just buy for your birthday gift. So then later on, we went looking for a TV set. And he really liked the big screen TV set. I had a 27-inch already, so I didn't really need another TV set. He said, you know, I really like this. What if we go in half and half? I said, okay, that's fine. I agree. You know, that's, if you want to do it, we'll do it. Everything was delivered to my house. We've never lived together. And then at that time, things were fine. Then I didn't want to see him anymore. And I think it was in September. And then he kept calling me and calling me and calling me. And I'm just like, you know, it's over, Derek. Just leave me alone. Work or whenever we...
Payments for what?
For the TV set.
How much did you pay?
Work or whenever we...
Payments for what?
For the TV set.
How much did you pay towards the TV set?
The TV set, well, he would tell me it would be $40, I think, each.
What do you mean $40?
Well, I pay $40, he would pay $40.
So it was $80 a month in
payments?
payments?
It was $80, I believe, a month, and he would just tell me when to make the payment.
So, and you would make it by check, I assume?
No, I made cash. I just did cash because it was...
Honey, can you prove to me, madam, that you paid for him for the television set? Honey, can you prove to me, madam, that you paid for him for the television set?
I paid cash. I don't have any proof. I didn't think it would go this far.
But it's aggravating to him, and I can understand it, because he's got the bills for this stuff, and it was your intention that you would both be sitting on the couch watching him, and I can understand it because he's got the bills for this stuff, and it was your intention that you would both be sitting on the couch watching the television. That didn't work out.
But there's more, Your Honor. When he started, there's more. When he started...
Shh. Order.
When he started calling me and harassing me and...
Calling you and harassing you for what?
He needed to talk to me and...
No, listen to me. Calling you and harassing you about what?
Just to talk about things.
Not
Our
about,
relationship.
Not about these
no,
bills.
he just, I need to talk to you.
Need to talk to you. Did you ask him about what?
No, I don't have anything to talk to you about.
Just a minute. Well, what makes you think that he wasn't calling you to discuss these outstanding bills?
Because he didn't want to break up.
Listen to me. If you didn't give him an opportunity to ask the question, to tell you why he wanted to talk to you, how do you know that that wasn't the intent of his call?
There was more to it, though. When he waited for me after work, he followed me everywhere. And I tried to lose him. And then after coming out of a garage where I work, he ran into my car. And then at that time, I got out of the car. He damaged my bumper. And then I said, I'm going to report this to my insurance company. At that point, he says, please don't. My rates will go up because it's over $500 worth of damage. I said, then how are we going to resolve this? Then I said, you know what, there is a way. How about I don't make any more payments on the TV set?
Well, it said in your answer to this complaint that you stopped short and applied your brakes, and then he ran into you.
No.
That's what you... Let me see if I read it wrong. That's always possible. Unlikely, but possible.
I was driving.
Let me see what you swore to, madam. You said, one day he waited for me until I got off from work and followed me. I tried to lose him, but he was behind me the entire time. I went into a building, he followed me. I then slammed on my brakes, and he ran right into my car. That's what you swore to.
No.
What do you mean, no? Yes. Say yes.
Yes.
That's what you said.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
This is not like childbirth. If you got it in there, you can get it out. Right.
And later today,
This isn't as much about the money as it is the principle.
What's the principle?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Terry Novick says one of the reasons she couldn't return her ex-boyfriend, Derek Dodd's couch, was because it wouldn't fit through the door.
Why were you following her, sir? Look at me.
I'm sorry, can I tell you how it really happened?
Go ahead.
It wasn't, I didn't wait for her after work. It was at her condo. She had handed me the $200 payment I was speaking of. There was two payments of $300 total. One was $200. She threw the cash at me, jumped in her car and drove away, and I said, I want to talk to you about this. I want to resolve this. What are we going to do about this stuff? And she was hysterical. I don't know why. And she just took off in her car, and I tried to follow her like she says. But I wasn't harassing her or anything. I wanted to speak to her. She wouldn't return my calls.
What did you want to speak to her about, Mr. Dodds?
I wanted to speak to her about what we were going to do, specifically about the couch and the TV, which I was paying for, and she had, and she would not return my calls.
Did you say to her, forget about the TV when
No.
it came to the bumper damage to her car?
No, the TV, I mean, she's just totally making that up.
How much money do you think you owe him?
I don't feel I owe him anything.
Why not?
Well, first of all, he hit my car. My
So
car
what?
was damaged.
Listen, Miss Novak, even if I believe your story that he said to you, forget about the TV. Listen, Miss Novak, even if I believe your story that he said to you, forget about the TV, we're still stuck here with a $3,300 couch.
He bought that for me for my birthday.
I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for a second. And I'll tell you why I don't believe it. Because you just told me that you had a couch on order, on layaway, from Jennifer Convertibles that was discontinued. So you were planning to buy a couch anyway. Let's start with that.
Right.
How much was the total purchase price of the couch?
Right.
How much was the total purchase price of the couch?
Well, here it says $33.16, deposit $516. We financed $2,800.
Looks right to me, Judge.
2936.
Looks right to me, Judge.
2936. Now let's get to the TV. How much was the TV?
I can't really say because it was just 200 and another 180 for the both of them, for the couch and the TV, because she was so far behind on the payments. We never said, well, this is for the TV and this is for the couch.
So the 380 was all the total amount of money that she gave you for both items? Okay. Where's the 27-inch television set?
It's in my house.
You want to give him the TV?
If he reimburses me the money I paid him. I paid him a lot more money than he's saying, Your Honor.
Yes.
Who are you?
I'm her mother.
Well, do you have evidence about how much money she gave?
I have no evidence about that, but I have evidence about the stalking, the car. He came to my house twice looking for her, not giving me reasons.
Well, listen.
Et cetera, et cetera.
He came to your house twice. Listen, can you imagine, madam, the frustration? He's got $5,000 worth of bills. He has nothing. Can you imagine, madam, the frustration? He's got $5,000 worth of bills. He has nothing. He's nothing to sit on, nothing to look at. They planned to move in together. Your daughter has both of these things. He has nothing. He tries to call her. He says, we have to talk. She says, I have nothing to talk to you about, and hangs up on him.
No.
That's what she's just told me.
That's fine that she just told you that, but he came to my house twice, and I asked him each time what he wanted, and he just said, I want to know where Terry is.
Let me tell you something. If your daughter was afraid of him.
She was.
What I don't understand is.
She did go to the police.
Listen to me. You keep anticipating what I'm going to say to you. Instead of going to the police, why didn't she take the couch and the television set and put it on a truck and bring it to his house?
I can tell you why.
Why?
It's too big. Can't even get it out the door of the condo.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Madam, did they build the condo around the couch and the television?
I don't have any idea how they got it in there.
This is not like childbirth. If
Right.
you got it in there, you can get it out.
Right. She told him several times
Listen,
to
that's a
come
lot.
pick it
You know,
up.
I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
She didn't say that at all. She didn't say that to me today, that he can come and get the stuff. And she didn't say that to him, that he can come and get the
Yes,
stuff.
she did.
Well, I just asked her if he can have the TV.
If he pays her what she paid him, yeah. And she's told him that more than once.
Just a second. Did she ever tell you could have the couch and the television?
Yes. No, not the couch, just the TV.
So why don't you go get it, sir?
I tried to, but every time she was really brief on the phone. She would just say, I gotta go. And then I would call her for weeks, and I would either get an answering machine, or at the end, she changed her number to an unlisted number. I was calling her to set up a time. I had somebody who would give me money, not how much I owed, but almost, I was trying to sell it for something, and I could never get a hold of her. And I can't sell it now to that guy.
Because you're harassing me over the phone. He would leave messages, Your Honor, all the time.
Just a second. Do you have a copy of the messages that he was leaving you?
He just kept calling and being very nasty on the phone, so I don't have a machine.
Just a second. Being nasty, madam, about what? Is my question to you.
He wanted to meet me and talk about things.
What things?
Oh, about the TV set.
Right. Judy, would you do me a favor, madam? Sit down. Sit down. How much you pay for this TV?
$2,400.
And how much do you estimate that you gave him towards the television set?
A lot more than $500.
Give me a figure. Give me a figure.
I paid at least $700 to $800 in payments.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And later today,
This isn't as much about the money as it is the principle.
If you have a problem with principle, I suggest you take it up with your therapist.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Terry Novick says one of the reasons she couldn't return her ex-boyfriend, Derek Dodd's couch, was because it wouldn't fit through the door.
It appears to me that you two people had good intentions when you decided to set up housekeeping and you were buying things for your home. It didn't work out. If it didn't work out, either one of two things happen. Either you share the expenses and return the property, or you sell the property, get whatever you can for it, and then whatever the difference is, you split it. I do not believe you, madam, that this couch was purchased as a birthday present at all. I believe that it was purchased with the full intention of the two of you enjoying it mutually and furnishing a new apartment. I am therefore awarding the plaintiff $4,786. That's all.
Thank you. Parties are excused. You may step out. Out the back door to your right. Yes.
And now the next case.
Parties on Beacon versus May. Step forward, please.
Marriage.
your complaint that I don't understand. So you're going to have to explain the logistics.
Tickets that were canceled after a marital dispute.
There's a lot about your complaint that I don't understand. So you're going to have to explain the logistics of these concert tickets to me. But what I do understand from the complaint is as follows. Miss Beacon, you and your husband were socially friendly with the defendant and her now estranged husband, but then they were together. Correct?
Correct.
And you, Miss May, had a subscription, a revered subscription to the Philharmonic. Correct?
The symphony, actually, but yes.
And for many years, you sold one of your tickets to the plaintiff.
Yes.
And it was just the two of you that went together, or did the husbands go too?
No, just the two of us.
Just the ladies?
Yes.
Then, unfortunately, you and your husband separated. And it was a rather acrimonious separation. And you two ladies had a falling out because, according to these papers, you took sides with the husband over a particular event, and she got angry with you.
Correct. That's about right.
The social part of this lawsuit, I understand. It's the logistics of this subscription that I don't understand, and why you are suing her for $180. So explain it to me, Mrs. Beacon.
With regard to the cancellation of the subscription, Penelope had asked me to split the remaining tickets with her. And at this point, I was hoping to somehow fix our relationship.
Had you paid her any money for the tickets?
Yes, I had paid her $300 for the 10 concerts, and there were 6 remaining at this point.
So far, is that correct? She had given you a check for $300?
Yes.
For the 10 tickets?
Yes.
Okay.
And about a week before the next concert, I got a call from Miss May's soon-to-be ex-husband telling me that she had left the country. So I called the Performing Arts Center to get another ticket because I had one. However, because she canceled her ticket, she also canceled my ticket because they were both in her name.
But you had the tickets?
I had the tickets.
Did you go to the concert, the other 6 concerts?
I went to the other 6 concerts, yes.
But you didn't have those seats?
Correct.
Did you have to pay for the other 6 concerts?
I did not have to pay for the other 6 concerts.
But you didn't get the good seats that you had?
That is correct.
What kind of seats did you get?
They were equivalent seats. They were okay, they were fine. And this isn't as much about the money as it is the principle.
Now let me understand it. You paid for 10 tickets?
Yes.
For 10 concerts?
Correct.
$300?
Right.
You went to 10 concerts, and the seats were, although not exactly the same, according to you, equivalent?
That's right.
What's the principle?
Had I gone to the concert with my ticket, which I assumed was a valid ticket, someone else would have been sitting in my seat, had I not called.
You want to say anything?
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Miss Beacon.
Yes.
You look like a very nice lady. So I am going to try to be as calm as I can. Courts are very busy. People wait a long time to get their lawsuit heard because there are so many lawsuits filed. We have become a very litigious society, unfortunately. Your lawsuit is such a crock of baloney that I am asked to pursue a former friend who, concert-going lady, would take the time and the effort to pursue a former friend who is involved in a very acrimonious divorce, especially when you suffered no loss. So, if you suffered no loss, you have no lawsuit. And if you have a problem with principle, I suggest you take it up with your therapist. This case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Hello mọi người nhé, chào mừng mọi người đã quay trở lại với channel Tôi Vẽ Tranh trên kênh YouTube của mình. Và hôm nay chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau tô màu và hoàn thành sau bức tranh, đó chính là hình ảnh một chú chuột đang cầm một bông hoa. Và chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau tô màu bức tranh này của mình nha các bạn. Nhưng mà rất là lãng xẹt nhỉ. Đi ngủ phát. Phần nụ bông hoa này mình sẽ tô màu nâu nhé. Phần cánh hoa bên ngoài thì mình sẽ tô màu vàng. Phần mặt của chú chuột này mình sẽ tô màu cam nhạt nhé. Mình sẽ tô màu cam nhạt cho phần mặt của cái chú chuột này. Tiếp theo mình sẽ dùng đến màu xám để tô màu cái phần đuôi nhé. Mình dùng màu xám tô màu cho phần tai trước đã. Hai tay này mình cũng sẽ tô màu xám nhé.
Thưa ông chồng các bạn đã đến với chuyên mục tô màu cho mình trong kênh YouTube của mình. Hãy cùng mình tô màu và cho.
Tiếp theo phần người dưới thì mình sẽ tô màu cam nhé. Mình sẽ tô màu thân dưới của chú chuột này là màu cam.
Mình sẽ sử dụng màu cam để mình tô màu cho phần màu của chú gấu này.
Phần hai chân sau này mình đều tô màu cam nhé. Và đây là bức tranh sau khi mà đã được mình tô màu xong nhé các bạn. Mình sẽ tô thêm một chút phần mặt nữa nhé. Và cái video mà mình đã hướng dẫn cho các bạn cách để tô màu hình ảnh một chú chuột đang cầm một bông hoa trên tay thế này đã là mình tô màu hoàn thành xong nha. Chúng ta theo dõi video của mình thì hãy để lại cho mình một lượt like cũng như subscribe để tiếp tục theo dõi thêm nhiều video tô màu nữa mà mình sẽ đăng tải nhé. Bye bye, xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn ở những video tô màu tiếp theo trên kênh YouTube của mình.